few good teams that are chasing currently that are within that striking distance. And as the guys said on desk, down to that 10th spot, maybe if Donuts are going to have a fantastic start, they could be jumping in to be within the striking distance of the top 5. But the top 5 teams, they have been looking extremely strong. And what I've been most impressed with has actually been Damwon's Kia's comeback from day 1 to day 2, and how well they're able to improve from day 1 to day 2 has been super impressive. And this is an absolutely insane first plane path here for Wrangel. The most southern plane path you can possibly have. It's just starting over Primorsk, going all the way over to south of Milta, close to Novo there. That's going to be interesting. And the one question is it going to be a military circle as well? Or are we going to have one of these really crazy ones where the plane path is super far away and the circle just goes all the way to the different edge, so potentially north or somewhere else?
What I'm going to be looking at is with such a south playing path, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be looking at Stalwart Esports, how they're going to be playing this. This is a team that usually tends to play slow because they don't have to worry about a lot of teams being towards the south. I feel like some of the teams might not want to rotate as much and might just want to go to farm, go to Milta, go to shelter, go to those kind of locations instead of trying to go all the way up to Yasnaya and Mansion. So I'm really intrigued to see what the first circle is going to be. It will maybe make some of these teams push up more. And then Vampire Esports, we talked about it yesterday. I was hoping that they would be able to not not duplicate, right?
Yeah.
What we saw from them on day 1 with the 24 Ilms in the first match. But I am intrigued to see them again. I want to see them be aggressive again. As we're seeing some of the top players here, longest Ilm, Hector from Team Soul being able to take it.
Putting 21 more meters on the longest shot from yesterday, and it's very much been action and lightning here as you see them heading. The first circle is going to pop. It's going to be on the western side. It's going to be a quite easy one here. The vast majority of the west is in play, still having Pochinki and School inside the first circle. So going to be interesting to see how it's going to fall out here. Xperia Sony, thanks for joining us here for the official smartphone partner for the PMWI 2022.
Yeah, and we were looking at some of the top players there earlier. We have to talk about Stalwart Esports Action. That man is just on a tear. He's currently leading in regards to damage with 5,463 damage, but he's actually not leading when it comes to Ilms. The person that's leading is from RSG. Is going to be Shandian with 30 Ilms. So it's going to be interesting. I'm also really intrigued to see how Team Falcons is going to be playing today. I feel like they're going to have a lot of pressure being the home team currently starting off the day on first place. I feel like that might play into just their mental.
Yeah, it could be, but also the buffer that they have down to 5th place and even 6th place that they're some of the teams chasing, of course, 44 points lead to the teams that are chasing on 6th place and beyond there. That is quite a good lead. And we were talking about a hypothetical cutoff yesterday after the first 3 games that could be around the 150, 160 point marker. So they don't need to do much to be the first team to cross that. And still 12 points lead down to Stalwart too. I am really excited and ecstatic to see Falcons' potential for today and how well they are going to be able to take it on. Also, potentially gatekeep or deny some of the other teams that they feel like are their biggest competitor going into the after party. But, of course, the main objective, getting that W for this year, being able to take that much money home would be crazy. And also keeping that trophy on Saudi Arabian soil.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping that they don't try to change anything that has been working for this team because, I mean, they are in first place for a reason. But when we go talk about points, 2 teams, Vampire Esports on day 1, they were able to get 86 points. And then RSG yesterday on day 2, they were also able to get 86 points. Yep. So as you were saying, they need to be careful from those teams. Stalwart Esports, Damwon Kia, this was team you were just mentioning too. They came out of nowhere. They could end up getting 86 points. It's Team Falcons. I don't kind of want to put it out there, but I am going to have to say it. If they do end up having a bad day, they could end up getting out of the top 5. And ultimately, yes, you want to get that first place. You want to get the prize pool, but you also want to be able to move on to the after party.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll see what Morph is doing and how we're checking in here in Yasnaya. Had plenty of talks with these guys, especially the coach as well. Super nice guy. Meet him in the gym. He's putting in the good work, and hopefully these guys are able to be one of those teams that can be within that striking distance and potentially jump into the top 5 with that, because they are just, I would say, 19 points behind the top 5 right, which is one good game. We've seen plus 30 points being done from the winning teams with the amount of eliminations we've seen and so forth. So it's definitely doable. And these first couple of games that we have the pleasure of casting, it's going to be super important for setting yourself up, because when there's only 1, 2, 3 games left, that's where you're going to have to play much more strategic, depending on what you see on our total leaderboard.
Oh, definitely. It's going to set the tone to how the day is going to go, right? Especially some of the other teams at the top start being really aggressive and become Elim heavy, as we saw Vampire Esports happen on that day 1 match 1. But you were talking about Morph. I mean, when it came to Morph, it was a bit of a lackluster in the first 2 matches on day 1, but then they were able to get that chicken dinner. And yesterday, I feel like they definitely became a lot more consistent. They ended up with 2 second-place finishes and 1 third-place finish, which that's great. All these teams need right now is to, on the first game, if possible, don't wait until the second game, try to get that one huge game to just put you in contention. It's going to give you a confidence boost. And I'm very big when it comes to mental, because it can play very heavy on these teams, especially being in a LAN event. A lot of these players are used to playing just online. For them to be here, for them to feel the crowd too, because I know we are going to be hearing that crowd of Saudi Arabia, especially Team Falcons continues to be in first place. That's going to get to them at some point. Yeah,
they definitely have this home turf heroes buff, the buff of the crowd. You can see also sometimes some of the videos that they're able to, once they got their wins, jump out into the crowd, celebrate with them. That's super cool to see. Here on screen, a ton. Right now with the big rotations out far on the eastern side. That is a really interesting one. They're moving it right now close to Virtual Gaming Squad. Potentially could be taking more vehicles in this situation. They are. And Yafas is going to be dropping off, or going to be dropped off with the other guys. Oh no, it's actually staying here with Alpha Luigi 2. Now Box and back-to-back could potentially be in a fight already. Break is running up already to Polo and J-Wait.
And Break trying to figure out, he does decide to back off a little bit. I think he realized, you know what, this is not going to be a good idea. They are going to take on the fight. Polo does get some damage on him, and I think at this point, back-to-back is just going to want to back off. And I'm glad we got a chance to see back-to-back right there in Atani Esports earlier, because I wanted to get a chance to talk about them. These are teams that are currently towards the bottom. It's not impossible, right, for them to try to make it to the top 5, but in a way, it kind of is. So a lot of the other teams towards the top need to be careful with those teams at the bottom. I mean, yesterday, I think it was on the last 2 matches, Team Seoul ended up eliminating Stalwart Esports twice, back-to-back, in Miramar and Erangel. So even though these teams might be 13th, 14, 15, whatever the case might be, those other teams at the top need to be careful, because they could steal points from them, and it could allow maybe some of the other teams that are currently not in the top 5 to move up.
Exactly. It really talks to the depth of the lobby, right? You have so many skillful teams, and even if you're not in the lead, you're able to take out some of the teams that are definitely in the top right now. So that is super impressive to see, of course. Multiple teams coming out of so many regions. That's also obviously what we laugh about. PMWI here, so many regions represented. Morph on screen here for Indonesia are rotating now, and next week they're going to be joined by some of the fan favorites, of course. Bigtron, BTR joining them. Huge fan following, huge history with this team as well for years and years behind. Now have Nick McGalaxy rotating close to Regans, and McGalaxy currently is in a good situation for them, 6th place right now, but they do need to have a good day to get something.
And I'm pretty sure Nick McGalaxy is going to be looking to carry that momentum from the end of the day yesterday.
For sure.
Yeah. First place, I mean, no. 4th place finish, 2nd place finish, 7th place finish.
With 9 elims as well.
Yeah. It wasn't just like they were going for placement points there. We're looking to get the action. I think it was on Miramar that I saw it. I thought they were going to be able to win it, but they were just playing a little bit too patient for me. I'm hoping that today they do decide to make decisions a little bit faster, because I felt like Miramar, I think it was the 2nd Miramar, they could have gotten a chance to actually win that, but they just played it way too slow. So hopefully they were able to go watch some VODs, come back. But now I want to see what this new circle is going to be looking like, because, yeah, we had a heavy South lane.
Yeah, it's hard to predict as well.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the teams. I mean, we have Atan Esports up in Severny that are going to have to come down for rivals too.
Long rotations.
And this right here is going to benefit huge for I think it's going to benefit huge for Vampire Esports.
For sure, and the question is, of course, how are they rotating in? How are they going to be planning ahead? Of course, a southwestern shift here is going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the north and eastern side. So the question is, if you're able to get in early, how deep can you go? How much terrain can you get from the southwest side? Because if you're able to go on a deep rotation, get some good macro going from the very get-go, you're able to get some of those compounds that might be free close to the center, but on the western side. So that's really the question for me. Those teams that are rotating early, are they going to take some of those high priority compounds in case it shifts their way? Now Donuts on screen with Nick Galaxy. Shots are coming out. Hamadi is going down with a knock going their way. That's very unfortunate. But Donuts is one of the teams that are chasing right now the top 5. And we hear a few guys clapping. And now the
Enigma Galaxy just losing one player.
That's
and I think it's smart though out of the team to just give up on it. And
we
do have that one
here.
Being able to get 2 knocks right there from Lightning.
Huge. Reckons that is going to be an important one here. Not a big priority to be fighting over this area, though. It's very much in the northeastern side of the circle, but it is also about rotations, about those pull-ups, and you want to defend your terrain, of course. Reckons deciding to move out on the east, and they're going to be rotating out somewhere else.
I can tell you who's happy right now after that engagement. Team Falcons.
For sure.
They're
Falcons,
like, yes, please.
Seeing everyone fighting each other, and they're just staying 4 guys alive now. TJB shots are coming in. That's one shot taking the car. He's going to take the coup and go away with that one.
Virtual Gaming Squad, a team that's currently in 16th place. I know they're going to be looking to at least make some kind of noise here. So hopefully that will be the case in there. We got a chance to see that replay. Virtual Gaming Squad trying to hopefully climb up the ladder a little bit, see if maybe they can get close to the top 5, if not make some highlight plays. And here we go, Enigma Galaxy just passing by Vivo Key from Brazil. We saw how aggressive they were able to be yesterday. Right now, I mean, Vivo Key are currently sitting in 10th place. They did have a great 2. And they could possibly, with Vivo Key, I think that's a team that could possibly strike for that top 5.
Yeah, for sure. One of the teams, of course, that I've been following a lot, covering PMPL Brazil. Insane players, mechanically so gifted, all of them. Definitely one of the teams I would love to see going into the after party. Also a team I'd love to see compete here in the last day. Adrian, the first player in the PMPL Spring that was able to get the triple MVP. Highest damage, highest amount of eliminations, and highest healing in a single match.
Yeah, and I mean, if they can get into the after party week.
They would be dancing, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You know that with the setup, just wait until next week and we tell you how it's going to be working. They're going to be loving it because they're just such an aggressive team, and I think it's going to just allow them and give them the chance to win lots of money.
For sure. And our next circle is going to be popping very soon. We are seeing it here on screen, how much pressure there is coming on the northern side. There's a lot of open space on the east, a lot of open space on the south too. And the question is, if the next circle pops north, south, where it's going to go, it's going to be very important. If it goes center, though, a lot of teams are going to be happy. It's going to go kind of south. Ooh. So good amount of teams right now would be having a good situation if they did some of those long rotations out on the eastern side or on the western side to try to get in on that southwest open area that we right now know are open. And statistically, the players also know is open because of those continuous southern shifts.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Enigma Galaxy, you're happy with that shift, right?
This
is a team that lost 1 player already. They were able to locate themselves in a perfect spot, and now it's going to be being able to defend where they're currently at. We saw some teams being able to do that perfectly yesterday, which was with Star Wars Esports. I want to see if Enigma Galaxy, I mean, a team that's just so close to the top 5, hopefully they can finish off. As we do see USG here going up against Vivo Kid, and look at this. Donuts being able to get some knocks right there, and hopefully getting the finishes. They need to be careful. They're currently getting shot. I think they might be able to get third party from 52 Esports.
A lot of fights going to happen here around the quarry and this area in general. The swamp, highly contested. A lot of terrain is available and a lot of real estate is available right now. You see Adrian sitting in one of the southern compounds. Shots are coming in. Nice. Yellow as well joining that one too. USG Donuts are going to be going out in 18th place. 2 eliminations for them though, so they're going to get a bit of scrap for points, but that is not the amount that they need to be able to secure a top 5 spot. Very good for the rest of the teams right now. They're eliminating this early. They're holding on to one of the valuable spots. And here, back-to-back coming out of North America, USA, of course. They are in a good situation. They need to be rotating, though. They have a far, far way ahead of them.
Yeah, I was thinking Donuts was trying to get some easy points right there and ended up backfiring with 52 esports, ended up getting that angle for them. Now, I want to see what back-to-back is going to be doing here. I know this is a team, I mean, they're currently not performing to what they would like to be performing, and hopefully at some point they'll be able to showcase because they are the only hope of NA. They are back-to-back PMPL NA winners. And here we go. Falcon now finding themselves in the same position that Donuts was just in, and now it's backfiring even more because they have to worry about now 3 teams, not just Vivo Key, not just 52 Esports. We're also seeing more taking some shots to Falcons. Oh, that's not the way you want to start your day for the team that's currently in the first place.
That's super unfortunate. Diego and the boys from Vivo Key are inside. You can see on the minimap top right, they are on the edge of the new circle, so they are also considering what's going to be our next move. How are we going to get into the next circle? It's very unlikely it's going to end on them. Falcon right now have taken some terrain further into the circle, but they are in a kind of rough spots, hiding behind cars, hiding inside the shacks. A ton north of that, outside the circle, they're going to have to make a macro rotation, try to get into that circle. And the question is, how are they going to fare and how deep are they going to try to get into it? Now, circle here popping very soon. Logos are a little bit big, but we have an idea where most of the teams are. Soul sitting in a very good situation. Vampire sitting in a very good situation. And as you said before, Enigma Galaxy sitting pretty damn good right now.
Yeah, Enigma Galaxy, I mean, they couldn't have been even more blessed by that circle. Now, are they going to be able to get blessed? I'm pretty sure if they do end up getting blessed, we're going to see some claps. Oh, barely.
A little bit north, but they're on the edge.
Yeah. It works. You can see, you can hear. I told you, we'll be able to hear those claps if they do end up benefiting them. And it's going to be interesting how they're going to be able to contain that spot here as we are able to see another team. I mean, as we do see Team Falcons here taking some shots at other teams. Team Soul is actually in a pretty good spot. They do end up, one of the players does end up getting knocked, but they should be able to pick them up. And Atani Esports, they're going to be in a very hard spot right here.
Yeah, for sure. Choco trying to smoke up, trying to use the utility, try to make sure that they can stay alive here on the edge of the circle, northwestern side. More teams are going to be moving in. 4 rivals on screen currently coming out of Malaysia. They're going to be jumping into the shack. They are in a pretty damn fine spot, quite in the center right now, so they could play that slowly. Now Soul some shots towards TJB, Stalwart too. Oh,
Team
TJB,
Soul.
my. That is so well played here by Team Soul, 7.
And I'm loving what I'm seeing from Team Soul. I mean, I talked about it earlier. This is a team that's taking the aggression. It doesn't matter. I finally feel like they're starting to get more confident with themselves, and this is what I was talking with earlier. This is a team that some of the teams at the top need to be careful with because they are getting confident. We saw what happened to Star Wars Esports. I'll repeat myself because it was just so impressive what they were able to do, to the point that Star Wars Esports Twitter account was making memes out of it, and I was loving it. So hopefully we can continue to see those kind of performances from Team Soul and Vivo Kid. They were able to spot one of the players there from Team Falcons, and currently he's hoping that they stop shooting him because there's only 2 players, and look at this. Morph, Atani Esports. I thought Atani Esports here was in a pretty bad spot, and we can see Morph Rocky making the push and trying to engage a little bit closer.
Really good shots coming out of Morph. Fantastic aggression. Rocky hears him. He is Fran. He can potentially take him on right now. Push through that. Shots are coming in. Smokes are being deployed. Rocky potentially could be seeing him. Finds him. France goes down, and Morph is advancing on Ayrton.
Yeah, and I saw Choco still alive. I know that's a player that really wants it in. Ultimately, Morph is just too much for Atani Esports. Now we're seeing Team Falcons, Yusuf barely staying alive. We also see Vivo Key trying to pick other players. Cielo. These are players that are very, very aggressive, but as you were saying, they are so skilled from South America, from that Brazilian region, that hopefully, I'm really pushing for them because I'm also South American, so I'm a little bit biased, but I'm really hoping that they can make it to the after party.
All right, Falcons, what can you do here? Yusuf, last player alive right now. Cielo is taking him on. He has taken him very low as well. UMP could be pushing into the shack. Yusuf trying to defend it, but he's going to be taken down. That is very impressive here by Vivo Keat. And that means Falcons is going to be going out in 14th place, unfortunately. Also saw Morph going out just before that. Morph did get a good amount of eliminations, so they're going to be racking up some of those points.
And a team that might be quiet is Wildcats right now. They currently have 0 LMs, but they are keeping all their players alive. And for that team, they are sitting in 7th place. And if you're currently looking at this circle, anything can happen. I'm loving what I'm seeing from some of the other teams. I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Vampire Esports. They have been there for such a long time that they're hopefully going to have enough of the loot, right? This is one of the things that we saw some of the other teams getting into trouble yesterday with just staying put on just one spot. they were able to, yes, make it towards the final 2 circles, but when they started getting into the engagement, they just didn't have the utility. They didn't have a lot of stuff in regards to meds. And now, with this right here, Damwon Kia couldn't be happier.
Damwon Kia really happy for this. They're looking to try to defend that 5th spot right now, and they're sitting in the center compound in the circle. Right now, a lot of teams are going to be fighting for that Quarry Ridge on that south side of the circle where we see Vampire right now. We have so many teams down there right now. Soul, Regans, Bucks down there, Stalwart, back-to-back. So many teams are going to be fighting for just, you know, one half of a compound and a little bit of a ridge. So we're not seeing probably more than 1 or 2 teams that's going to be surviving that outcome right there. Also in the north, a lot of teams are going to be fighting for just a little bit of sliver of that fields that we have. Fall Rivals sitting happy inside that shack. They're going to be waiting until later.
Yes, 7 out of our 13 teams right now currently towards the south. We've seen back-to-back. J7 being able to hit some shots right there. Hopefully his teammates are able to back him up. I think they're going to realize that just they're all grouped up and maybe they'll start shooting those vehicles to get the explosions. We know it has happened. And look at that, Lux getting shot by J7. J7 right now on a tear.
Really nice play by them. Stalwart also on screen. J7 continues to put damage onto Istanbul. Wildcats goes down in 13th place without an elimination. That's going to be a rough one for them. But Stalwart is pushing right now. They're aggressing this. They saw the knocks come out. And they know that J7 potentially could be only one guy because they only heard one player shoot. Pika on the offensive. Can he find J7? Oh, that's a really good Molotov defensive.
That was a great Molotov. J7 able to back up, and I don't think Pico was able to spot him. Polo also able to set himself up behind the rock, getting those angles. And here comes a bit of a push there from, I think it was J-Way trying to push up. You can see J7 wanted to get more into the action. He's able to get one knock. Can he get the finish? He is going to be able to get the finish. Top laying down, and SE actually getting third party from some of the other teams behind. This might benefit back-to-back. Polo is currently down top. Is currently having the height advantage. J7 being able to get some damage there with the nade that he threw. Can he get this knock? Is he going to be able to let Top heal up? And I think he is going to have enough time to heal up.
Top will continue this aggression right now. Let's see if J7 can get another one with this Bison right down hand. Could he make something more happen? Last player for back-to-back. More damage coming in on the utility. That is a really good deny for him. J7 is forced to just move back now. Soul under a lot of pressure from Vampire as well right now. More is coming in from them. Stone finding multiple with the grenades. Utilities also being deployed from Goblin. This is really well played by Stone. Aggressive. Gets down Hector off the knock. And now he's going to run into the Molotov. That's unfortunate. Goblin finds one though, returns, but Soul goes down. That's super unfortunate for them here in 9th play, because back-to-back takes the 10th place elimination right there. Vampire has to try to survive. They're under a lot of fire, fighting for this terrain here we were talking about before. A
lot of teams getting knocked, and I'm interested to see how Vampire Esports is going to be able to recoup from that engagement. I know that's a team that stays very calm. They're going to hopefully be able to pick up his player and start the rotation. And guess what? Enigma Galaxy, a team that we were talking about earlier with the circles, they're currently sitting pretty. They're letting all the other teams take into fight, and luckily for them, nobody has pushed them. And same thing with Damwon Kia. I mean, this is a team, 2 out of the current 7 teams. Damwon Kia has 4 players alive. Virtual Gaming Squad also has 4 players alive, but Damwon Kia has just been watching all of this. They haven't had to shoot at least one time, I don't think.
Yeah, and as I was talking about before, only 2 teams survived this mayhem on the southern side. There's Vampire Esports and Stalwart. And as we were saying this before here, Enigma Galaxy be able to take that shack away from Fall Rivals. We didn't catch it, unfortunately, but as Seven pointed out here, this is really important for Damwon Kia here. They could be defending this top 5 spot, making it even harder for the teams chasing. Vampire taken down by Song, though. Juni also finding Stone. Ravenclaw gone down too. That is super unfortunate. And Shreps is just the last player that is not knocked at the moment for Vampire.
Vampire just getting very unlucky too there, and I think he was trying to make it farther with that buggy, but he ended up crashing into the vehicle. You can see Stone there just finally getting finished from the zone. And Stalwart Esports, I mean, this is a team. It's been quiet. They did end up just getting one of the players knocked, but they're going to see if they can maybe pick him up. Damwon Kia, they're sitting perfect right now. And as you were saying, Enigma Galaxy currently just has 1 player, but they do have 8 Illims. That's going to be big for them as they are trying to break into that top 5. Vampire Esports trying to make it up, trying to use that smoke wall, and so far he's barely been able to. You can see VGS getting into some fights over there with 52 Esports.
Yeah, exactly. And Stalwart is going to be trying to survive the situation. Enigma Galaxy actually gone out in 7th place with the eliminations. That was Adrian being able to close that out from Vivo Keat. important for them. Stalwart right now on the offense, but Shreps is helping this defense that Damonkia is trying to set up in the south with all this utility that he's using right now. He's trying to get deeper into the zone, trying to survive for as long as possible, while 52 and Virtual Gaming Squad is fighting for the northern side. As you see how in the distance, a lot of pressure has been put onto 52, but they are right now on their bellies trying to survive. Deployed smokes. Virtual Gaming Squad is moving out on this east side of this compound that Damonkia has been able to hold, but Juni is finding another one with a fantastic usage of utility right now. More Molotovs are coming out. Only 3 eliminations for Damonkia, but if they can secure this winner chicken dinner, this could be a huge amount of points for them. Top Gun down 2.
You can see Juni right there being able to knock down Top. They are aware of everybody that's going to try to rush him. Screen, ooh, barely getting missed by that nade. And I think Star Wars Esports might be able to recover from this, as they don't really have to worry about that many people. And something that I was currently looking at, too, is Vivo Kid Adrian. He won that engagement with the last player from Enigma Galaxy. That's going to be huge for this team, because they are trying to hunt down some of the other teams that are out. Wildcats, I mean, I think they're going to end up with 0 points. They've already been out. Morph as well, they're already out. They're going to be able to climb up in a big way when it comes to that overall leaderboard. So great start here from Vivo Kid. And another team, I mean, I feel like they've been a little bit quiet after we talked about their third party earlier. 52 Esports, only 2 elims, but they do have 3 players alive. And in all the action that we have been seeing here, Avenger, they're just waiting patiently. They're doing, I feel like, what Damwon Keo was doing earlier.
Exactly, and the question is here, with this circle, as you see in the minimap, it's actually only Damwon Keo that is inside, but 52 is the only team on the northern side. Virtual Gaming Squad does have the information on them. They know that they're there up north, and Foz is hiding so many shots, so many bullets onto it. Vivo Kid out in 5th place, though, with the eliminations. That's good for them. The question is, how far can Virtual Gaming Squad take this one? And is Damwon Keo going to be able to defend this compound?
Yeah, is Damwon Keo going to have the enough utility to be able to take advantage of all of this? Here we go, Virtual Gaming Squad trying to get different angles. Are they going to be able to break into that? They also have to be careful with Star Wars Esports that was on the other side earlier. I think Star Wars Esports has been able to rotate a little bit more. And now you see 52 Esports getting a bit more involved. Damwon Keo hasn't lost a player. Virtual Gaming Squad still has all their 4 players. This is going to be a great fight. And Star Wars Esports, meanwhile, they're like, okay, you guys take the fight over there. We're going to be sneakily moving up to your compound.
Yeah, 52 definitely just trying to survive, trying to make everything just happen in front of them, because if they can survive a bit longer, they are going to be securing themselves even more points. But no, it doesn't happen. Stalwart says no. They find Taku. Gaddafi steals it. And more shots are coming out towards Pharaoh. I think that's him down as well. 52 out in 4th place with only 2 eliminations, but good amount of points secured through the placements now. Virtual Gaming Squad, 4 guys alive. So is Damwon Keo. Stalwart is the team trying to survive here. Forrest is finding multiple, though.
Forrest being able to knock down 2 players right there. That was huge. Damwon Keo Jr. is going to get knocked. Can shot connect with this nade. Here we go. Star Wars Esports now moving into action as well. Damwon Keo getting some of the players knocked. Virtual Gaming Squad being able to clutch it up as well. Can Star Wars Esports? Oh, Damwon Keo swung, being able to win that 1v1.
Song so well played here. Swap to the barrel after playing with the not having any more bullets with the UMP. Can he make something more happen, or they're going to be taken down? He's pushing out. It's so well played, actually, by Top, securing 2nd place here for Stalwart, but he is alone. And Virtual Gaming Squad has 3 members now, 4 members standing, and they can just push aggressively to secure this win for them.
And I believe in Top. We've seen it before. We've seen some 1-4s. Can he do it? He does the first one. Can he knock the second one? He's going to take some shots. He is 1 HP. He's ultimately was too much. Virtual Gaming Squad, ladies and gentlemen, being able to get the first win and keeping their dreams.
Doesn't have that advantage, but we are ready soon here with game number 2. We are at PMWI 2022 here in Riyadh, live for you, and we're going to be playing Miramar, and I'm extremely excited to get this one kicked off. It's going to be the last Miramar for you and me, my friend, here in the main tournament, and it's my favorite map. Long rotations, a lot of strategy, and I'm a strategist myself. I love these approaches that these players are able to have here.
Yeah, I love this. You get your favorite map, and then I'm going to end up getting my favorite map after this one too, which is going to be absolute madness. But, I mean, it's going to come down to the first circle that we get, right?
Exactly, and also the first plane path. Yes. It's really south here, 7. That is going to be rough for a lot of the teams playing north, and also if we get a rough circle, if we get a northern one, it's going to be really hard for those rotations to come out from the very get-go here.
Yeah, but for Damwon Key, I mean, if they do end up getting a South Circle, there's a team that usually tends to be a little bit more towards the South West. It might end up benefiting them. And another team, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be Vampire Esports or TJB EU. That's a team that actually likes to go a lot to the West and South. So it's going to be interesting what the first circle is going to be. And with Damwon Kia, I was hoping that they would win, especially when they ended up knocking those two players from VSG. I was like, okay, maybe now the other two players that were on the other house are going to decide to push, maybe set up some smoke to try to make that transition. It didn't happen, and I think ultimately that's what ended up costing them that game. But for Star Wars Esports, what a game, honestly.
Yeah, it was
not a win, but impressive.
And especially impressive because they came off from that high ground, right? They had so many fights ahead of them. They were trying to push in here. But now let's jump to and see what's going to be happening here. I remember a lot of teams have already jumped out. You see on the northeastern side, you have Donuts, the USG guys, Vampires out, 4 Rivals is out. Istanbul Wildcats uncontested in Impala, and we actually get a southern shift that's actually quite nice. I'm personally hoping for it to end around south of Chimasera, maybe all the way down towards Minas. That could be quite crazy, or even closer towards Valdemar. I really love how that's southwestern side. The terrain is so lovely down there. So many dips and divots that you can play off. A lot of compounds on the high ground that can be fought for. But yeah, Minas del Valle could be interesting. Chimasera could be really interesting.
Yeah, well, we're seeing that. We have actually already lost a player. Team Falcons was able to eliminate a player from Star Wars Esports. I don't know how that happened. Hopefully, we will be able to watch that replay. But now this is Team Falcons. This is a confident boost that you need, especially after that performance in the previous game. I mean, 14 plays, only 1 ilm, not the way they wanted to start. And I'm pretty sure they ended up losing that lead to Star Wars Esports. And I think it's going to be close. It's going to be even better for Team Falcons because they just ended up eliminating the team that they are going up against for that first place. So you couldn't write it any better.
It could be so good to see if they're able to capitalize on that situation for sure. But Reckons and Atan fighting here potentially in Los Leones. Let's see what's going to happen with that. They are really close to each other. Bruno doesn't look like he has any weapons at all. Could be just hiding, trying to get help from one of his teammates. Vampire in a good situation. They're big chilling here right now. They're going to be completely fine. And, of course, you can complete daily missions here to earn points. Once enough points are accumulated, you can tap on the reward icon and claim the corresponding reward as you just saw on screen.
Yeah, and while you're at it, I mean, there's going to be PMWI gun skins. There's a sale period between August 4th and August 13th. There's going to be 50% off of PMWI packs. Get a set straight away and 5 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests. And while you're at it, between August 4th and August 13th, all users in the region of the top 3 teams will have a chance to win a prize, maximum of 1 award per user.
Yeah, exactly. You can obviously check much more of that out in-game while you are playing. But right now, we are focusing on the games. Reckons right now fighting a ton. The Chinese team, and of course, a ton coming out of Latin America. The Mexico guys are going to be having a little bit of a rough time because all the Reckons guys already have guns. Okay, Bruno actually has a UMP as well. I see a Micro Uzi 2, so the Texas with a UMP, and Fran with a Micro Uzi. So close quarters combat is definitely an advantage for a ton in this situation here. The first guy potentially going to be meeting anyone could be Bruno. He looks like to be the front man. Choco already is taking a little bit of damage. Reckons are playing very closely knitted together here. You can see them moving together as a squad, and that's what I really love. That accuracy of being completely next to each other will mean that there's going to be re-knocks happening, and you're going to be having to get your revenge immediately. Damoki on screen too, coming out of Korea, of course.
Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed out there with RSG being able to play so close together because what I saw there from the setup, Tani Esports, I mean, Santa Texa was a little bit too far back from me. I don't know what kind of angle he was trying to get there, but if RSG did decide to engage him, I feel like it would get him a little bit too long. It will take him a bit too long to actually get to help out his teammates. So interested to see what's going to happen. I mean, it is going to be one of the top 3 teams going up against one of the bottom teams. So if RSG can get those points, or if Atan Esports can spoil the party for RSG, a lot of stuff could change in the leaderboard, and I'm pretty sure Kalaris, Maxman, and also Jason are going to be loving that.
Yeah, in general, just anything with numbers, anything that these guys can dive into, they love that. It's just crazy to see. They're sitting in there in the green room for the talents. They're just like, there's papers everywhere. It's just flowing around with numbers. So we just like, oh, we're just coming here to cast the game, see what's happening in the action. But they're just focusing on every single numbers and digits here to see who's going to be the top 5, who's going to win, who's going to get all the MVP rewards as well.
All and right, look Goblin. At this. Sir Goblin, being the sneaky fella that he is, as some of his teammates do, 3 of the teammates from Team Soul do end up pushing forward. Is going to come down to who's going to get the first knock. Hector, they know exactly where some of these players are going to be at. Hector getting that grenade ready. Who's going to be able to throw the first nade out? Ooh, Hector not being able to get it. And guess what, Skirv from TJB being able to get the first knock.
I love what I'm seeing from them already. Agility being put out here in the tower of the church, close to Chimicera. It's a really high priority situation for these guys right now. It is dead center in this next circle here. Hector pushing in with the UMP. Little one helmet, little one vest. But he's going to try to get the rest off on Omega. Kist, Tingsker, they are close to each other, trying to defend this. Utility could be thrown.
And they are going to make that push for
They're pushing it aggressively. Tingsker goes down.
Team Soul being able to trade at least one out there. Now this is the time where the other players from Team Soul need to be able to push that. You can see Asha trying to actually do that, but he needs to be careful with Lin because he's now being able to hold that angle.
Yeah, exactly. Lin is holding that defensive angle, so Soul cannot push straight into the tower. And they're going to get the rest off. Omega's going to bleed out, and that's a huge advantage to TJB in this situation here. They are going to be keeping all members alive of the team, and Team Soul is going to go down to 2. Stingsker goes down. That's a huge one for them, though. Goblin comes in. Oh my god, this is a huge turnout for Soul. Goblin playing extremely well. Can they get Lin down too? Multiple shots coming in. He's actually getting so low. Kiss pushing out too. Goblin is going to be able to return it too. Lin goes one more down. And it's actually Soul that's going to be ending out going down completely. And TJP looks like they're going to be able to pull up all 4 members from this situation here.
Goblin almost being able to take the fight there to Lin. He got him, I think he got him maybe to like 5 HP. What a fight there from Team Soul. I honestly, at that moment, I thought it could have gone anywhere. And by the way, look at this. I do want to point this out. Star Wars Esports ended up losing one of the best players, if not one of the best players so far in this tournament action. That is going to be massive.
It's going to be huge for them to be losing him out here. They're obviously one of the top guys fighting with Lightning currently for the top elimination spot. Much damage is also coming out for these guys. They're, I think, before this game started, they were 1,000 damage ahead of that 3rd place. So they're really fighting head-to-head in that situation. Reckons has gone down with 1 player, double D.
Here you go, Choco trying to get some shots into the player that's knocked down. He's not going to be able to connect with any. Is Atan Esports going to decide to push this? If there was ever a time, this might be the time. But something that we mentioned earlier is how spread out the players from Atan Esports currently at. I mean, you can see how close all the 4 players from RSG are, but I'm only seeing 2 players from Atan Esports, and I'm actually not seeing anybody trying to get some angles. They're actually trying to just push up, and just now, just up to this point, you're going to start seeing some of the other players. Here we go. Lightning being able to get the knock there on Chaco. Chaco going to get so unlucky, and now he completely turns it around for them. RSG is going to be able to get some angles on Atan Esports, and now Atan Esports is going to be defensive.
And exactly, and it's Lightning again here, putting more eliminations up 7. It's crazy. More damage. This guy's just racking it up every single game. It's impressive to see. Atan looks like to be disengaging from this fight here. And as we see, more teams are moving in. Circle's going to be popping very shortly. And I'm really hoping for a Southwestern shift in this situation here. Oh, Los Leones ending. Oh, it could be going somewhere in the middle, though. We'll see if it goes some hard shift towards the west or the east later. Right now, though, TJP looking pretty damn good. We are in a situation where some of the high ground compounds and the churches that TJP fought for is actually quite high priority. So let's see if they're going to be breached right now. They are splitting very hard on the compounds. I see at least 3 players, different locations for TJP. So could be a little bit too greedy. Bucks moving in, Damonkey moving in as well, and they could potentially be breached.
Yeah, and I was just noticing action there with the 32 elims. Oh. That's what I was mentioning. Oh, don't run over your teammate. It is possible, by the way, to run over your teammate if you do switch seats or get out of the car. Don't tell your teammates I told you this, though. I don't want to be. I don't want to be the one that's guilty for people starting to team kill in game. And here we go, Box Gaming being able to pick up the teammate that was down. TJB feeling hot after that engagement that they have earlier. They already have 4 elims under their name. You can see Skirt there getting some damage. And Xiao, is he going to be able to get this knock? He is going to back off a little bit, though. He does have the boost going for him, and he should be able to get this knock if he's able to just step to the side. Trisme, though, with a beautiful nade, getting the knock.
Huge for them. Oh, now, my God, break. Takes down Bensu with that Molotov. That's just not fortunate. But let's see who can turn this situation around. TGB right now with the upper hand. They are kind of closing them in, holding them out of this. Nades are coming out. Trisme could potentially get another one. Kissed, actually. That is super well played by him. They're pushing out. Box now on the offensive. The Sabu, what can happen here with this? 4-man strong break.
Oh. Too much of Box Gaming for that team. And Lin, now it comes down to Lin. Is he going to decide to engage, or is he going to decide to back off? Box Gaming hunting him down. They're going to go for it. They're able to spot Lin. Lin is able to get one knock, but ultimately Box Gaming is just too much for TJB. But I mean, TJB, you did end up getting some points. Box Gaming, though, now being able to get 4 points, and they get to keep everybody alive.
And this leaves so much open space because they're occupying everything in the center. They left the church, they left another compound that was in the center as well. So right now they're obviously hoping to have stayed and maybe in the church. And other teams have now decided to take over that. Here, the replay that we saw with TGB and Seoul, they do go out with 4 elimination points, but with the terrain that they had, the real estate that they had inside the circle, they could have been a much better situation for them if they stayed there rather than going offensive onto Box.
Yeah, they could have been, but I think it's just that they were feeling themselves. Okay, that's what happens when you end up getting one of those teams eliminated. They went up against Seoul. Seoul ended up not getting that win, and guess what? TJB was like, okay, let's start pushing people. It backfired, but hey, it is what it is. At least you tried, TJB. That's all we expect out of you, for you to try.
There's so many teams on the east, on the edge and on the ridges of Los Leones. They're really hoping for this circle to go east. A lot of teams coming in on the northeast as well. So the question is, where does this next circle go? We're going to see shortly. Damwon Kia and Nick McGalaxy, 2 of the only teams on the west and southwest side. So that could have a huge advantage for that one. Let's see where it pops, though. 52 on the south together with Virtual Gaming Squad. Back-to-back has taken the charge of Chimacera. And Vivo Kid is just on the northern side. 7, where are you hoping this one goes?
Los Leones.
Oh, it goes
it just goes down the middle.
Oh, it's just the least hype circle we could have. But it means, so if for this exact situation here, there's so many teams coming in from the east and west, and there's already some good teams that are having some of these compounds. There are not that much real estate available, so it needs to be taken early.
Yeah, and I'm going to be looking at Name Galaxy. I think they're going to try to flank around to the south and try to push their way up. They need to be careful because they might end up closing in by 52 Esports and Damwon Kia. Remember, Damwon Kia, I said it earlier, this is a team that tends to play on the south a lot, and they're going to continue to play towards that south portion of the circle. And now everybody just rotating. I think Atan Esports still going to be on those buildings that we saw them earlier when they ended up losing Chaco. We saw RSG. I don't think they have lost any of the players. No, they haven't lost any of the players. They were able to pick up that player that was knocked by Atan Esports, so they're able to refresh themselves. And with what's crazy to me is that usually we play with 16 teams. In this tournament, in the PMWI 2022 here in Saudi Arabia, we're playing with 18. And right now there's 16 teams, 62 players still alive in this circle. That's just wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's exactly the effect you have from playing these 18 teams. Teams are trying to get into a good situation here. Right now, we have a ton on screen that have spotted out Virtual Gaming Squad. They are on the outskirts of Los Leones, fighting basically for terrain that is not going to be viable in the next circle or 2. So the question is, do they take the fight on if they get a knock? Do they get an opening, or are they just going to try to put out some more damage? Fran right now, they obviously has lost Choco, as you were talking about, so I don't see an offensive move coming out from a ton in this situation. Istanbul Wildcats and Fall Rivals close to each other too here, 7.
Yeah, and with Wildcats, I mean, this is a team that when we started today, I think they were in 7th place. They are going to continue to stay within that, so they might play a little bit patient. And from what you were saying there with the Tani Esports, they did end up losing Chaco. I think if they were to get a knock, they were just going to cause some more damage and wait to see where the circle is going to end up, because I think they were inside that circle. For Rivals, honestly, a team that I expected a lot more of. They're currently in 10th place with 89 points. I'm hoping that within this last 4 matches that we're going to have after this one, we might see some flashes of greatness out of that team. You can see Wildcats right there, Lux 666 having to move out. And Ray getting shot by Lappy. And guess what? You were talking about Atani Esports. Are they going to push it? They get a knock? 4 rivals might actually make that push.
Yeah, for sure. They are on the edge here on the ridge of the northeastern side. They're actually going to back off. This means that they now Istanbul Wildcats, they have to use time to rest. They have to use time to use some of this healing here. So they're taking away some of this pressure utility and healing items. Next circle is going to pop shortly, and I can basically not see the map, but I know we're in Miramar. I see there's a little bit of space in between Vampire and Morph in this situation, but the logos is obviously huge for this situation, and I know we're just west of Los Leones. We have a lot of open high ground that actually shifts towards here, just east of Chumacera. That is really interesting. We have a huge apartment complex compound that could be an interesting fight as well.
I need to go have a conversation with M1 Kia because right now, my goodness, they are just getting absolutely blessed with the circles.
And the turnaround from day 1 to day 2 has just been so impressive. It's really good to see them, especially with the last game as well. They were not able to win it, but they got a huge chunk of change of points from that one. Right now in 4th place overall. They're putting distance between themselves and the other teams that are trying to chase to get into the top 5 so they can get to the after party where they're fighting for $1 million after having fought in this weekend here for $2 million.
Yeah, and I'm currently looking at the map. There's so many teams still towards Los Leones. I mean, we have Wildcats, we have a ton. We got RSG, Virtual Gaming Squad, USG. And I am looking towards the south, Enigma Galaxy. This is a team that needs to make a push towards this circle because once all the other teams decide to push in, it's going to be absolute chaos.
And I guarantee you right now, TJB is so sad that they didn't stay inside the church that back-to-back right now have. We are seeing Wildcats with some shots onto Reckons. That is really great shots coming out from X-Ray onto Double D. That means that Wildcats, they are going to be moving aggressively. This is super important for them. The guys coming out of Turkey, aggressive pushes coming in. We're going to be jumping over to 4 rivals that could be taking Falcons on right now. Malaysia fighting versus Saudi Arabia.
And if I'm Falcons, I'm just going to back away from this fight. This is a fight that you do not want to have. You're so far out of the circle, and you're a team that's currently in the top 2. You're fighting for that win. Please ignore this and get your butts to this circle. By the way, Wildcats, I love the aggressives. You saw them, and we're seeing them on the Illim feed. I mean, Wildcats, they are getting third party by Atani Esports, but they want those Illims. And guess what? RSG right now getting eliminated by Lux. Lightning is down. GC.
Last player.
He might. Let's see if he can maybe clutch that. Is he going to get it? Is he going to get it?
Could be a good one.
Oh, no.
Not enough damage. And Wildcats are looking to recoup from this situation here. Can they get the revives off? Can they get the first aids pop off before GC does more? Defoe takes down the Lightning player here for Regan's top fragger currently. And X-Ray gets the first vehicle elimination, as you see on the left side there. GC still. X-Ray going down, actually to send a text at the third-party work for a ton, and they're going to be moving in aggressively in this situation too. They know that they're hurting. They saw the fight with Reckons going on in the kill feed.
Yeah, Enigma Galaxy right now, we're currently not able to see it on the screen, but they are losing some players in a fight that they're getting in between with Virtual Gaming Squad. And they need to be careful, too, because 52 Esports might be in the horizon for them. GC staying quiet. Is he going to be able to get away with this? And is he going to try to get any knocks? I think he's going to play it safe. And if I'm him, I'm actually going to just wait a little bit longer until I can get one knock and confirm it. But he needs to make those decisions quickly because he is going to be in the zone, and that zone is going to start hurting, and he's going to have to move quickly. Right now would be the time. If you're going to take a shot, right now would be that time. As we go to Falcons, Falcons going to be able to get this knock. They are not. Lappy's able to win it. Falcons really needs to win this fight. How are they going to be able to recover from it? Damar shooting up the car, making sure that nobody's there.
And at least the Wildcats go out early. Oh my god, the Molotovs coming all over the place here. Falcons trying to make the best out of this situation, get the points that they're able to do. Damar goes down. That's super unfortunate. Yusuf and Powerful, last 2 players, and they're now outside the blue. On the other side, we have Vampire waiting. But 4 rivals, Pembroo is going to try to get the best out of this, get the points confirmed for this situation.
And while all of this is happening, I'm trying to figure out what Star Wars Esports is doing because they only have 1 Illim. They do have 3 players, and that is a team that is going to be paying close attention to what happens with Falcon. Vivo Keyed eliminated by back-to-back, but this is just such an important fight. I think Team Falcons is going to be able to pick up Damar, which that is going to be great, but Baru 7 from 4 rivals, just waiting patiently. And as you mentioned earlier, Vampire Esports is going to be waiting after this fight. They need to make some decisions quickly. And here comes the smoke. Here's going to come the push from Team Falcons. Is he going to be able to get the knock? He is going to be able to get the knock in the finish. Powerful. Getting that knock in GC, getting the knock against Frenzy. Look at all of this. There you go. Being able to secure some extra points for his team as they were almost eliminated earlier.
That's so unfortunate for Morph to lose a player like that in that situation to Regans. That could have been a good game for them, but now they're down to just 3. Let's see if they can do something more about it. GC finds Rocky 2. Regans just destroying the games of multiple players. Falcon, Yusuf finding Stalwart. Virtual Gaming Squad out there also in 13th place.
And this is going to be such a
fight too.
This is going to be such a hard push here from the Falcons. Just hope that nobody shoots you. You don't have any smokes. You already used most of your utility earlier. Vampire Esports is going to be winning. There's a lot of teams that are going to have many angles on you, so hope that nobody pops the tires on that buggy and just try to go for it. You can see Vampire Esports waiting. They know that there's a team that's going to try to make that push. Luckily for that nade, not getting anybody from Team Falcons, but I feel like that vehicle is going to get a little bit damaged, and now it's time to start zigzagging. And you are currently shooting at Stalwart Esports. You need to worry about back-to-back because back-to-back currently has all the 4 players.
Oh.
And unluckily, Yusuf not able to make it, but one of the other players was able to make it. I wonder if he's going to be able to get in the right location, and the Mart is going to try to make it over there too. As powerful. Currently trying to heal up, and here you go, kill switch. Can he get it? Oh,
no.
They do blow up the car. It was just such a hard rotation for Team Falcons.
But I would really love to see them drive at the same time, so they would have had multiple targets to shoot at, rather than taking a car at the time. That makes it easier for back-to-back. And now it leaves Falcons just with powerful left. But he is sitting under the high ground. He could potentially recoup a little bit of the points later. They have 5 eliminations already, and they're guaranteed top 10 as Regans goes out in 11th place here with 4 eliminations.
Yeah, and with Team Falcons, that's just going to be a hard spot right there for Powerful. He's going to be so exposed if for some reason Vampire Esports does decide to look that way, or Stalwart Esports decides to look that way. He's just going to play patient, try to not make any noise, and he's currently doing the right thing. We do see Atani Esports. Hey, they lost that player earlier in the game, but they are still being able to stay alive. We see Box Gaming going up against USG Donuts. Look at what's happening right now. Donuts only have 1 player alive. And Powerful, as I was saying, it was just such a hard spot for him to be there. Vampire Esports ultimately ends up looking that way, and they do end up getting that finish.
Yeah, and next Chocolate's pop as well. As you can see on the minimap top right, we see multiple teams trying to get into a better angle right now. Vampire looking really strong. Stalwart too, but back-to-back is pushing. They could be taking this fight to Stalwart and try to take some of that terrain. We're going to see multiple teams on the fight on the south side try to get into the circle too. Box, Atan, Morph, Damwon, Kia are all going to be fighting for just a little bit of terrain that maybe can accommodate only 1 team.
In this fight, if they're going to make a fight right here, Vampire Esports and Stalwart Esports, they need to hurry up because now back-to-back has made that rotation, and they're going to be looking third party. And look at that right there. One of the players from back-to-back, Killswitch, being able to get the knock on Stalwart Esports. J-Way. Come on, J-Way. Let's see what you can do with this grenade. Are you going to be able to hit on anything? I don't think that's going to hit anybody. But yeah, just, you know, saying, hey, don't go that way, okay? That's pretty much what that nade was. Damwon Kia does have 2 players currently knocked. You can see 52 Esports as well. Box Gaming, they do have all their players up, and they currently do have 6 Illims. Forest trying to make that push. And oh, Pika. Is Pika going to be able to? Oh, Pika just gets spotted by Vampire Esports. Gets that elimination. You can see here a replay of what happened earlier between PSG and Enigma Galaxy. And wow,
shots.
freak. Okay. That's really impressive. And that's some points that your team definitely needs.
Damwon Kia lost 2 players, and again, as we're talking about, as I was saying before, they are fighting for this terrain that can max accommodate 2 players back-to-back already inside the zone, defending this push from them. Vampire also defending the push from Atan. More shots are coming towards Fran. He goes down as well. And now it's just send a Texa to Atan that is going to try to survive this situation.
And here we go. J-Way still alive. He does have Forest right there. J-Way hops in the vehicle and somehow is able to escape that Forest. Not able to get the shots, but they are going to know that he's going to be coming. How is back-to-back going to be able to recover? Do they actually know that Forest is there? There you go. They're able to get that Illim. They're able to get that extra points. Back-to-back, the hope of a nay. I think it's going to be really hard for them to make it to the top 5, but they are about to take a fight to Vampire Esports, and this is going to be huge. Are they going to be able to win this? Killswitch currently not full healed, but guess what? Vampire Esports does have some players that are not full heal either. J7 playing it very slow, being the anchor for his team, and Fluke being able to heal up. 52 Esports eliminated.
6 plays, 3 eliminations to them. Vampire looking really strong in this situation. Also back-to-back, 4 guys strong on both of those teams. Bucks have been suffering a little bit from that, trying to get into this little dip here. They have this to work with. The question is, can they take this further?
Something that I love that I'm seeing right now in the minimap is that Vampire Esports does have a great player in Stone. He has a great angle, and they're going to have just that ledge full of cover. They're going to be able to position themselves inside the zone. Vampire Esports is going to have a big upper hand here, especially with that ledge that they have. Nobody's going to be able to see him. And you can see Box Gaming is going to have to push into back-to-back. Can back-to-back hold up Box Gaming. And I see a player there from Morph as well as Cinetexa from Atan Esports being able to get the knock.
Yeah, huge for them to push in. And there's so many teams that are going to be pushing into the south, or from the south side into this circle. And the south can only maintain one team. There's not much space for this. Atan and Box is fighting. Cinetexa is able to do multiple things here. And that means that Box is going to go down in 4th place. Morph also went out in 5th.
Box not able to make it, but a great push there from Atan Esports. Cinetexa, one of the veterans when it comes to PUBG Mobile Brazil. He has a lot of experience with this kind of tournaments. And here we go, Vampire Esports back-to-back. How are they going to be able to do this? Atan Esports eliminated. It is going to be a 4v4. Who's going to get the first knock? Back-to-back. J1 being able to get the first knock. They're currently trying to get some angles. Polo, you can see Polo in the back just healing up. They are both currently waiting, trying to get angles. J7, this is going to be huge for his team if he is able to get the angle and get the knock on the team, on the player from Vampire Esports that's in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. And as you're pointing out here with this switch here, this is huge. The question is, who gets the next benefit? We have one more circle to be popped, and it's going to decide basically who gets the advantage here in the last part of the game. We are up to a 4 versus 4. It's rare to see in this situation here, but shots are coming out from Killswitch. Back-to-back could make something happen here and there, and they already have 9 eliminations as well. Your heart is pounding right now at 7. You're hoping for the best outcome for your boys.
You can't see my smile, but I have a big smile, okay? I'm hoping that they do get at least a chicken dinner here just for some bragging rights for NA, even if they do somehow end up being in last place, which if they get the win, it's not going to happen. Come on. I believe in them. Can they pull this off? And guess what? The circle goes in favor of...
Yeah, that's a great question.
I think
it's kind of the center. It's kind of shared. Right? It's kind of shared. I would say Vampire might be a little bit closer, but it's very shared. It's very much in the open space here of the middle. There's a dead tree, a crate that could potentially be inside. The question is, when back-to-back comes off from this top side ridge, they're going to have a really hard time aggressing onto Vampire. The team that wins this game is the team that is using the best utility here, makes the best amount of smokes, and I really want to see from back-to-back to offensively smoke off the ridge that Vampire has. Then they can take the advantage away from Vampire.
You can see Polo trying to make a move. If Polo is able to look at himself, there you go. He is able to look at himself. You are going to have J-Way. Right now, the way back-to-back is set up, and I don't think Vampire Esports actually has that much utility because of all the other fights that we're taking on earlier. This is going to be a great fight, and it's actually going to come down to the first. Now you can see Killswitch right there hopping off. If I'm you, Killswitch, I'm going to just pop off all the tires from that bus and just use it as coverage. You can see they reposition themselves a little bit closer there. Now they're going to be inside the circle. I'm going to just get a chance and assume of that. J-Way is going to have an angle. He is going to be able to see him. J7 missing some shots. He needs to be able to connect with this, and I think he might just get a chance to move up to that tree. He might not be able to, actually.
Vampire soon might be forced off this ridge here. That's the only advantage they have at the moment. Fluke taking a lot of damage. J7 takes down Fluke, but is traded quickly by Shreps.
And there's nobody with utility at this moment. If not, we would have seen some nades falling. J-Way does get spotted. Ravenclaw, there you go. J7 exploding a car. Two players from Vampire Esports currently down. Polo, this is one of the MVPs of an A. Can he get this clutch? Polo with the AKM, 1v1. He gets some shots. Can he get the other ones? Come on, the hope of an A. Polo, can you get this shot? Yes! Back to back. Able to clutch the win, ladies and gentlemen. 28 points. As I said earlier.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of good points coming out of the disc. There's also a lot of terrible takes, and in general, you know, considering that the biggest achievement we've seen from Kyle Harris is him being a top contender in the Bradford go-kart series of 1999. Of course, Max as well, winning the chess tournament in his local French village with just 5 participants.
What they don't know, though, is that you are a 1993, 1994 back-to-back champion for breakdancing, right, Avenger?
Of my local high school. That's exactly what Calaris is trying to push for. That's a good storyline. But we are going to be ready with Sanok. I'm super, super excited for this one here. It's going to be our last cast of the day and the 3rd game overall. After this, we'll have only 3 more games to go, which is going to be covered, of course, by our fantastic casters, John, Allen, and Blank. We are going to be going from the east towards the west, and the guys are going to be jumping out of the plane where they're going to be seeing fit. But I'm looking forward to these hot drops that we're potentially going to be seeing here. 7.
Yeah, and on the first game that we got a chance to cast today, we're talking about how these 3 games were going to be setting the tone, right? And they have definitely set a huge tone, and that is that the bottom teams are trying to move up. Yeah, they might not be able to make it to the top 5, but they are trying to move up because at the end of the day, there is a prize pool. They are trying to get a little bit more money into their pocket, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be pushing for that even more, which is going to, I feel like it's going to make it even tighter on the top 5.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And a really hot circle here that we have all the rivers in play. We don't know if we're going to go north, west, east, or south. And of course, thank you to Sony Xperia for being our official smartphone partner here for the PMWI for 2022. And of course, we're going to be seeing our teams jumping in. But we are in the Stalwart Reckons fight inside the Lobster here in boot camp. The question is, who's going to be winning this one?
And I mean, yesterday, I don't remember who got a chance to win it. I think it might have been RSG, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure you'll get a chance to correct me, Avenger. But this is going to be a huge fight. I mean, this is teams that are currently in the top 5, actually 1st place and 4th place. And if I'm Team Falcons, I'm just going to be so happy that this is going on, as well as Vampire Esports. Overall, they're playing it slow. They're playing it patient. And I'm going to end up looking towards the top of the mountain. Yeah, I don't see Team Soul. Remember, Team Soul tried to surprise. I think it was Star Wars Esports, if I'm not mistaken, that actually got the win on that Sandhawk yesterday. If not, it was RSG. I can't remember which one out of the 2 it was that actually got the win here on the boot camp drop. But right now, I think they're learning their lessons because they are playing it a lot slower than they did yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see what is going to be happening in this one here. The question is, who survived this one? Again, as you were pointing out, it is 2 of our top teams that is fighting in this situation here, and that is not a good situation for them, of course. The question is, who comes out on top?
It was actually RSG. RSG ended up winning this fight, and they ended up getting a 5th place and 11 Ilum. So a lot can happen to this. We do see some fights going on the horizon, but I feel like this is definitely one of the most important fights. You see RSGC trying to find a player from Star Wars Esports, and you best believe as soon as this player starts getting knocked, some of the other teams might try to pounce on it and try to third-party it. And that's exactly what Team Soul is doing. You can't really see them on your screen right now, but instead of that, they have realized what kind of circle they have, and they are currently rotating towards the south mountain of boot camp.
All right, Peter, what can you make happen here? Vaz finds TJB, as you see in our elimination feed action. Getting a bit of action here. The question is, does Stalwarts try to stay inside this bigger building here, the so-called Lobster, or do they just try to make something else happen? They are trying to push onto Pika, as you see here. Again, really closely knitted together as a team. Pika on the very top of this 3-story. And, yeah.
I was going to say, with Pika being there, he's going to at least be able to relay a lot of information in regards to where he's hearing footsteps, so that's going to be able to help them out. But I'm currently looking at Team Soul. I was talking about the rotation that are making it to the south of boot camp, and that rotation is fully done. They're currently going to be setting themselves up, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be looking forward to trying to third-party something out of this. But you know what? There is some Illims happening, and it is 52 Esports getting some Illims on TJB EU.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a rough situation for this one here. I really want to see the teams prioritize on getting into a good position. Maybe sometimes you can have these teams that are holding some of the bridges on the west side now that we have all the rivers of Sanak in play. Pika on the top, half HP. He does have a DPS though. Carlaris' favorite gun. It's the only thing he can hit anything with.
Hey. I have potato aim too, so I also try to use the shotguns, and I'm going to be honest, I even can't hit anything with the DBS, so it's kind of sad.
GC. Can he make a dream happen here, or what is going on? Back to back, though, they are holding a very strategical, important point in the circle here, the very dead center of this circle. Soul, again, in this situation where they're peeking over and getting the information that we're getting out of boot camp, potentially could be gatekeeping either Stalwart or Reckons, whoever comes out on top for this one.
And I think this is perfect for Team Soul. Just wait it out, see what's going to happen, and see if you're going to be able to third party. And I can see that they have some players that are anchored looking at what back-to-back is going to be doing. We have seen circles that goes to that trifecta area where the three rivers kind of meet. So perfect location here from Team Soul, and it comes down to who is going to make action happen here between Star Wars Esports and RSG.
Yeah, and the question is RSG going to be able to win it again? Reagans with the top situation last time. Stalwart going out early, and that would be rough for Stalwart. You know, they are on top right now. They are maintaining a good spot. And if they can further that lead right now, down to Falcons, down to Vampire, and Reckons themselves too, they could defend this top spot. We have some swimmers out early on in this situation. It is Damonkia that are swimming across. They're trying to get in onto the small northwestern island, the Alpha Island.
And I think Pika's kind of lucky right now because with the angle that Team Soul is doing, he's not going to get pushed. I mean, there is some of his teammates here. And as I said, that actually being able to get the first knock, and he's going to get the finish. This is going to be the opening that Star Wars Esports needs. You can see Action moving into action, trying to push forward. And Team Soul is just waiting up there. You can see he's going to move up closer. Pika being at the top. If he is going to try to make a move, he needs to be careful with Team Soul. They're currently just eyeing him. They know that he's there. He needs to watch out for a third party. Here we go, Action. Cooking the nade. Is he going to do it? He decides to back off a little bit, waiting for his teammates to get there. He's going to try to go for it again. If they got some more nades, this might be one of the perfect nades. Oh,
cooked.
A bit too much.
All right, Pika still half HP, means no. Oh, that's some good shots now. Action with the DPS coming in, taking one down, taking Lightning down, one of the top players from Reagans. And now we're just down to 2 players. What can Double D do in this situation?
Pika does make the push down. We do see some DBS. Who's going to be able to get this knock? GC is still alive. He might end up getting third party. He does end up getting third party there from Team Soul, I believe, and RSG is eliminated. Team Soul, Hector, and Action actually being able to get some knocks and some elims there, at least at 1 point for their team.
Yeah, it's really important for Stalwart to keep on and maintain. They get the points, 3 points for this. Also managed to stay alive. This circle could go their way. We could still see a boot camp ending in this situation here, so that is super important for them. And also Reagans could be losing some of those placements on the leaderboard. They could be going down if we have the teams that are chasing have a good game in this one. Falcons on screen. They have lost a player. You see 4 rivals in the distance, Pemberu and Jumper as well.
Yeah, and with Team Falcons, I'm intrigued to see what they're going to be doing here. They might be going for a heal-off, which is usual. Is usual to see here in Sandhawk, but it might benefit him, if I'm being honest, with the way they're currently located, with the way the circle is playing.
Yeah, exactly. And the circle is closing in. The big question is again, where are we going to end up here? There's a slightly bigger chance that we're going to go up on the Charlie Island or the southwestern one. Question is, where do we end up? I'm really hoping we're going to see, a center circle that all the islands are still going to be in play.
I was going to say, I love seeing that replay because we got a chance to see how Pika was able to just push down, and he was waiting for the right moment, and he did so. And the team with Action being able to get that first knock, being able to get that first elim, big, just the chemistry. It goes to show the chemistry that that team has. Everybody knew as soon as they got that knock, just make that push. And now, which circle are we going to end up getting here?
Oh my God!
And it's going to be unknown. I feel like my toxic trade is going to come out. I want to see some water.
We're loving the water that is in this one for sure. Vampire already sitting up pretty good. Still a bigger chance for it to go south, but we could see a center circle again for this one. But Vampire looking really strong for this one. They are currently trying to get back to the level that we've seen from them. You know, they do right now have the record of most points made in just a single game. 39 points, 24 eliminations in the very first game of the tournament. And the question is, can they maybe make another good one? I don't feel like we're going to see it on Sanak. Sanak is often a situation where we see so many teams fighting out in the blue. It's very linear when we're looking at how many teams are getting elimination points. It's often very spread out across.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. And I also feel like it's just so hectic. It doesn't really give you the time to engage with the team because you're going to have to worry about that third party. The map is definitely a lot smaller, which is going to allow those third parties to be a lot faster. And if you're not able to finish the team, I would say within at least a minute and a half to 2 minutes, you know somebody's listening out there and somebody's creating some kind of angles. Like, I mean, we just saw it perfectly. We saw what happened with Team Seoul during the fight of RSG and Star Wars Esports. They were able to get at least one elim out of that fight.
Yeah, and here on screen we have a ton and Box could potentially be fighting. But the question for me is, some of the teams that have been looting, you know, Sami and some of these far away destinations, have they been able to get, 25 first aids and are in the circle right now? They could be getting a pretty damn good spot to set up a healing strategy. A ton looking like they want to defend this high ground and potentially try to get some of the elimination points that are sitting down in the compound that the Bucks are currently. And we see back-to-back is still gatekeeping one of the bridges. We have Morph on screen, also just in the southeastern eastern edge. And the guys from Indonesia, they're obviously trying to push themselves further up the leaderboard. Right now in 7th place, 103 points, within striking distance of the top 5. And obviously they want to try to get it and push themselves further into this situation.
Yeah, I think they might be able to. And another team that's currently being a little bit quiet is going to be Enigma Galaxy. By the way, while we're at it, complete daily missions to earn points. And once enough points are accumulated, tap on rewards icons to claim the corresponding reward.
And of course, you can participate in the event solo or with your team. And you can do both things, and you could easily get the rewards if you're playing with your teammates.
Yeah, talking about teams, I mean, between August 4th and August 13th, all users in the region of the top 3 teams will have a chance to win a prize maximum of 1 award per user. And during that same span, between August 4th and August 13th, I'll tell you in a bit, because guess what? Damwon Kia wants to get into action. And talking about action, I did see Box Gaming knocking one of the players from Team Seoul.
Yeah, exactly. They are utilizing the box formation and really trying to get into a good situation for this one. But Damwon Kia on the high ground, they have the circle that are pushing away. Multiple of them is outside the circle currently, and that's a rough situation. We really want to see them come in. Circle is closing very shortly. We are going to see a narrow circle pop just very soon. And as you see on the map, they are on the top right now outside the zone. They could move in through and towards Camp Alpha and get closer to Vivo Keat Stars. But they are setting up a really good breach camp. I'm kind of hoping for this to go north. That'll be a fantastic, really toxic one. That's the one you love. Yeah, I can just see it. Yes. Oh, it actually goes north. Oh, my God. Send us up on Vivo Keat Stars. Cielo, Diego, and the boys, they are going to be really happy about this one. But I want to point this out here. Action is currently 1,000 damage ahead of third place. Lightning just close by for this one, too.
And while we're looking at that, I mean, if we look at this map, look at Team Falcons. They're so far away from this, and it's going to be very, very hard for them to actually rotate into that circle. So I think they might try to go for that heal strat.
Super impressive with the eliminations as well. In their 30s, Action and Lightning is currently. And as you see on the minimap, so many teams are moving. We can see 52 with a huge macro transition from the northeast and trying to get onto the northern side of the island. Also, boats are going to be used. It's Vampire. They're trying to pick up everybody. Fluke picked up quite fastly. Shrebs is going to go across quickly, try to get some of this really, really important real estate. Now, Enigma Galaxy sees them. They could potentially get some points out of this one. Shrebs does run out. It's really far distance shots here. Again, we could be talking potentially above those 400 meters, close to it, that we currently have for the Eagle Eye reward. The 5,000 extra dollars we can have from this one. Super impressive. To be able to knock players 400 meters away is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I think Nim Gasly decided, you know what, let's not even take a shot. He might have been able to take a shot, but it just nothing was going to come out of it, and they are going to try to take a shot on that player that is swimming. As Raouf almost getting knocked himself from Vampire Esports. They're far away, but I think they might actually want that extra 5K.
Yeah, I really like what I'm seeing here from Schweppes in that situation, right? You are the one taking that first transition over the end on the boats to make sure that the other guys can swim across safely. So he does protect them, shooting a little bit here towards Neymar Galaxy. Istanbul Wildcats on screen. It's Lux taking some shots towards Stalvat. Action is half HP, as you see in the distance. Also really far here with the 4xM4. He has 4 grenades. Has a lot of utility. And we see a level 3 helmet on one of the players as well. 3 vests onto Pika. 55% damage reduction rather than the 40 that the level 2 vest offers. And a little bit more durability. Top finds one of the Istanbul Wildcat players, and that's super unfortunate. We hear our colleagues from next door, the Turkish guys, go, ooh, that is not good. That could potentially mean that our top leader right now could be pushing them.
Yeah, it could be, and you can see Wildcats, though, keeping a very close eye here on what Star Wars Esports is going to be doing. Virtual Gaming Squad having 1 player knock. They are currently outside in the gas, and 52 Esports getting spotted. They are going to get knocked by blowing up the car. Gaddafi being able to get that knock. He's going to be able to secure that Ilum, I'm sure, but I think they are going to let the player that is down from VGS just... if I'm them, I'm going to say sorry. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to pick you up.
Exactly. Next circle's popping. As you see on the map here, a lot of the circles has gone west, so the mass majority of the pressure is coming in on the east. You see how many teams that is on that edge right now. Many teams are moving in. Falcons is one of them, as 7 is pointing out here to me. Virtual Gaming Squad on the northern side. Also, TJB trying to move in. Oh my god, that is the wildest northwestern shift I've seen in ages. We end up going to the North Island, the Camp Alpha Island here. Damwon Kia looking really good. Vampire looking really good, and Vivo Keat Stars are looking really good here in this next circle.
Yeah, Vampire Esports is going to be so happy with this, especially considering that Neymar Galaxy is going to be across the river, and that might be able to get some shots and also eliminate that team. Keep in mind, these are teams that are currently fighting within those top 5s. Vampire Esports is currently in 3rd place, and Neymar Galaxy is just knocking on the door of the top 5 there in 6th place. You can see back-to-back trying to find a way to bridge this. Star Wars Esports players, they need to hurry because I do see some Team Soul players coming up behind them. And remember, we saw already what Team Soul can do when they third party. They're going to be able to eliminate some people. And here you go. Top, make the push. Is back-to-back going to be able to capitalize on any of this? I do like that Molotov there from Action being able to stop him.
More utility usage. No, but they are closing off the potential peaks that he could be peeking around, right? So you're denying accessibility to go out and push that. Now smokes are being deployed to Stalvat, while we see in the elimination feed that Morph is taking a lot of hits in this situation.
And something that I saw right there, as Action decided to move up, he did let go of his healing, and he gave it to his other teammates, so I think they might actually end up going with the heal up top. Gets knocked as well. Kill Switch being able to get the knock. Pika, 13.
Last player.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great play from them, but I think he wants these Ilums, and that's exactly what he's going to go for right now. There you go. If you can get the extra points, just go for it. And I think at that point, he's going to decide to slow it down. And I was talking about Team Soul being able to third party. Well, guess what? Team Soul is going to do just that, and they're going to eliminate back-to-back from North America.
And that's a really interesting one, right? Because he could potentially go up and take some more of those first aids that back-to-back had. So he could get even more of those 13 first aids that he has already, potentially go all the way up to 20. Question is, how deep can he take this one here for Stalvat and Pika? Right now, Falcons on screen, Yusuf there too. Now Morph here with a potential fight against 4 rivals. Frenzy takes some shots, really good shots to get. That is a nice finish off to another point secured for Morph. Currently on 7th place, 103 points. They are one of these teams chasing. They really need these points.
Morph. I mean, wow, that was some shots right there, and I think he knows that there is going to be some other players there from 4 Rivals trying to go for it. The player from 4 Rivals does have 16 medkits. Can he do it? You see Hector there from Team Soul getting knocked by Atani Esports, and you saw Atani Esports also getting knocked by Enigma Galaxy. There's just going to be some absolute madness here. Vivo Keat, Team Soul X-Shot, can he actually get knocked here? Oh, I think he's the one that's currently doing the heal off for Team Soul, and he needs to be careful because Choco knows exactly where he's at. Choco's not going to be able to heal himself up, but I think Ashad is able to get the knock there on Team Oh, he got the knock on Choco, and that's going to be another point if he's able to confirm that for Team Seoul.
VGS fighting Istanbul Wildcats currently. See Vivo Keto on screen here with Bucks fighting 2. Potentially later, they are cross side of the roads, but they're going to be advancing in this situation. Virtual Gaming Squad. Oh, that's a little bit of damage coming through. Break taking a little bit of damage on the level 3 as in that situation. The UMP in hand. Can we see some more pushes? But a lot of... I see so many solos out of the blue. I see at least 4 solos on the blue trying right now to heal. Falcon's gone out in 12th place. 0 eliminations. That's going to be a rough run here for the 3rd game of the day here at PMWI in Riyadh.
That is going to be a big one for them because, I mean, Star Wars Esports already has some points. And you can see, Goblin gets eliminated there from Box Gaming. Box Gaming trying to work their way up. They are currently in 11th place, trying to make it to the top 6, and they are going to be going up against Vivo Key. These are 2 teams that are actually need this points. Vivo Key is above Box Gaming in regards to the leaderboard. Can they actually do something here? Here comes the shot. Box Gaming, trust me, being able to knock down Gremlin. Adrian, the MVP out of that squad. Can he do anything? He's going to get spotted. Oh, just barely in time, and this saves him because a lot of the other teams are looking at this fight. Can this grenade connect with anybody? And he's not going to be able to connect with anybody there. Overall, though, Cielo still alive from Vivo Key as well. Adrian, can you get out of this alive? And he is going to be able to.
McGrellan gone down too, and this is just Vivo Keyed down to Cielo and Adrian. Adrian had a Groza in hand, and now Box has to heal this off. The next circuit did go north, so VG is looking good. They're taking a fight right now with Damwon Kia. Forrest gone down really low. He's with 2 or 3 HP left after that grenade. So Forrest has to try to heal this off. Virtual Game Short still 4 alive. But Daffy finds Forrest with that nade. That's super important. Pika going down to play zone. That's impressive with the amount of first aids that he had.
Yeah, and with that, even though Star Wars Esports was eliminated, they did end up with at least 6 points for their elimination. So that's going to be big for them because remember, Team Falcons, the team that's currently chasing them for the 2nd place, did end up getting 0 points. Here we go, Vampire Esports. Talk about the top 3. This is a team that's also trying to chase. If they can win this game, it's going to be a massive change on the leaderboard. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be looking forward. Stone almost getting knocked by Vivo Cielo. And he's able to just barely get away. He needs to heal up, and he needs to be careful because Box Gaming is still behind him. Then one Kia, Omba, currently with the heal off too. So many teams currently trying out this heal off. And Virtual Gaming Squad, even though they have been a little bit quiet, guess what? They still have all their 4 players up.
Stone trying to secure more points for Vampire. That is 4 for them so far. Chilla gone down to Trismi. Box advancing in that 7th place for Vivo Keed. Stars and 1 elimination point only gone for them. Ooh, Wildcats finds 1. Box goes down in 6th place with 5 eliminations. So now let's see what Wildcats can get out of this. Shots are coming in from Stone. Lux did not realize that it was that angle he was getting shot from.
Yeah, and Vampire Esports, as I mentioned earlier, if they can secure some extra points here too, that's going to be big. And then one Kia as well.
Only 1 point for 1 elimination for Damwon Kia. That's huge as well in terms of the overall leaderboard. Virtual Gaming Squad looking really good in this situation here. They have 4 guys strong. They have 8 eliminations currently, and they're going up against Vampire that has 6 eliminations and only 3 players strong. And again, we have been talking about so many times they have this 4-player advantage. The question is, can Vampire Esports turn this one around here? Can the guys from Thailand make the dream happen?
And as you say that, Ravenclaw is able to get the knock right there on Yavaz from Virtual Gaming Squad. And now, it's even now. Here comes the Molotovs. They're going to be trying to control where Virtual Gaming Squad players are going to go. And guess what? Another knock. Faluji being able to get the knock. He lays down. He does get knocked by Stone. Can Vampire Esports clutch this up? They currently do have the numbers. You can see Gaddafi right there. The only man standing for Virtual Gaming Squad trying to clutch it up for them. Stone with the grenade cooking it. Can he get it? There you go!
Vampire Esports!
Talk about a nade. Vampire Esports, our last game that we're going to be able to catch.
Damwon Kia really putting on a good show yesterday. They could have gone slightly further if they were able to close out that last angle yesterday. But so far, things have been pretty good here and there. Been trying to take that center for themselves, but not quite able to translate a big win as of yet. Stalwart, on the other hand, it has been consistency all the way for themselves. And now here, going into the 4th match of the day, 166 points. But Vampire Esports, they're bringing it back.
Certainly are, especially as Kalaris was mentioning there, with some of the best rotational play that we've seen so far this tournament, to be able to read that one like a book, and a very good one at that, hopefully for them. Maybe they've been reading a little bit of Nosferatu, some of the Dracula novels, maybe.
I see what you're trying to do here. And I was about to
Good,
say, that's not the greatest book in the world, but we'll take it. I have been to Whitby at least one time.
I was trying to think about books about vampires, and you know
Oh,
what?
yeah. Well,
That's
I don't
what
know why
came
you
to.
wouldn't mention Twilight.
Oh, don't. That's what I was trying to
Fantastic
avoid.
I'm so sorry. But these guys, they really are putting on a series. We had the trilogy, and now we're looking at that third day. We started strong with that huge 24 limb game, and it may have gone downhill just a little bit for Vampire Esports, but it looks like they do finish strong as well. But it will be up to these last 3 matches, because there's still quite a lot of points to be had here in the lobby as we head over to Erangel right now. Down 1, USG, Rozok. Nothing's changed there, with his playing path being extremely kind compared to most of the others during this kind of small tournament PMWI. I say small in terms of length, but it is huge in terms of the pride on the line here, in terms of the glory, the prize pool itself. So all of these teams really are trying to bring absolutely everything they can from the back of their arsenal.
Just scraping the bottom of the barrel there, trying to get anything they can, pop it in the pocket. Oh, look at this. Plane path was fairly kind. Georgia Paul down to Milter. A lot of places open, but the circle, a hard northern shift.
Yeah, up towards this northeast side. Now, Stalwart might struggle with this one just slightly because they're dropping over towards Nova at Neuer. We've already explained this before, but with an 18-team lobby, it's very difficult to have those secondary spots. So Stalwart's almost forced to head down towards Nova at Neuer right now. And with this eastern side on the circle as well, and them always crossing on the eastern bridge, they're going to come into contact with a fair few teams. You can also come into contact with a fair few of these teams as well, as long as you are watching together with us. So if you complete those daily missions to earn those points, once you have enough of those points and they are there, tap on the rewards icon to claim the corresponding reward.
And participate in the event either solo, or you can team up with other players, both totally fine. And if you team up, it could be a little bit easier to get those rewards.
And you saw that little fancy graphic there on your screen there. That's for the PMWI gun skin and outfit. The sale period is from the 4th of August through to the 13th. That's 50% off PMWI packs. I repeat, that is 50% off those PMWI packs, so grab them whilst you can, because you will get a set straight away and 5 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
And of course, on the 14th, which is tomorrow, 14th of August, all the way until the 15th of next month, it will be 16% off those PMWI packs, and you get 6 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
Well, checking out the map at the moment, Nigma Galaxy over towards Pachinki, just about in this one. Falcons, though, over towards Morph in Yasnaya, just on that eastern side. They said they weren't going to change anything at the start of the day with that beautiful interview with Joy Boy himself, the coach of the team. And it looks like they are sticking to their guns here, but this actually presents a very good opportunity for Team Falcons. They may have slipped behind just slightly, but we saw them have fantastic results towards the end of the day yesterday. And now, with a few games to go, and again, with all the crowd cheering, that mentality is going to be there for them. I don't know how you could get down during this tournament with that kind of support. So I think Falcons can certainly bring it back. They grabbed some vehicles from down south, going to bring those back up to Yasnaya, so they have a fair bit of rotational tools in their pocket at the moment.
I've been called that before. A rotational tool.
A rotational tool.
That's right.
Okay. Does the Interstellar music come with you?
Sure. Why not? Absolutely. Certainly ages me plenty. But we're going to be getting on board at the moment with Nigma Galaxy, who last game, they didn't have a standout performance. In fact, they were caught up in that rotation from that southwestern island, but they closed the gap towards one of those top 5 spots quite significantly over RSG, a very coveted position for Nigma Galaxy to try and take a hold of. So if they can break out again this game, they might be with a chance of getting in for the after party next week.
Yeah, Nigma Galaxy now just 6 points behind RSG with 129 points, so there's definitely potential for them to ladder up here. Nigma Galaxy, I would say they're having a bit of a rough tournament. That's considering in 6th place, but that's just because I respect the team so much. I think that the guys from Iraq are doing such good work so far for themselves. I expected just a little bit more from this team, but I think 6th place right now, 123 points. Bring it home in this last stretch right now, and they could definitely be seeing themselves a quick little jump up into that after-party showdown.
52 and VGS trading fire right now. And it is 52, VGS, sorry, to pick up a point over on towards one of the 52 players. Nothing too dramatic, though, for either of these teams. They will just be heading away. Looking at where a lot of these teams are moving, Damwon here, early rotation, right? This is something we've seen, I think you were mentioning this backstage. It's something they've gone back to, right? Just being early on those rotates and getting straight in the middle.
Absolutely. On the other hand, though, it's Vivo Key directly sending into Jumpers building at the moment for Rivals. A little bit split from the rest of his team. Diego will take him down. There will be a knock downstairs from the grenade, but absolutely no response from the rest of 4 Rivals here, who are nowhere to be seen.
No, nowhere near. Unfortunate to have to take that fight in that scenario with no backup. And Jumper will have fallen for the 4 Rivals. Not ideal. VGS, they managed to get an elimination earlier on, but Aten Esports have them in their sights. One shot will fall. Gaddafi under pressure as well. Needs to be careful in the climb on this UAZ, but is going very, very slowly, spinning around out in the open as Senatexa sends on in to try and get a better angle, to try and get on this chase, try and get away. It's starting to smoke now, so not a lot of HP left on it. You can see the first level 1 helmet, level 1 vest almost broken as well. Far from ideal, far from what you want to see, but it looks like Anton are going to give up the chase for now.
Very unfortunate Bruno wasn't able to hit those shots on the target, at least being the actual driver, but you know, he did hit a fair few on the UAZ. It's not quite enough to actually bring the vehicle down with the explosion, so a little bit unfortunate. Goblin doing his best to slip out of the way there, crawling his way just over the lip of that hill. It's back in his vehicle, spots TJB, who have been residing in North George for some time now. They've rotated up past ruins. They will be in the path of TJB, but TJB very much aware of their location. These two teams been clashing almost every single map now, so you know, this is probably one of those points where maybe just go your separate ways.
Potentially, I mean, it depends what Seoul want to do, because you've also got those other teams that they might want to guard, but then you get behind. Yeah, it's a decision they're going to have to make in these next couple of minutes. It's going to be absolutely crucial that they make one that's going to go well for them. I mean, Seoul haven't had the best of tournaments so far, if we're honest. They haven't had a great time of things, set down in 17th at the moment with 66 points. So picking up any points, laddering up, getting a little bit more cash in pocket would be excellent news for them.
Still representing, and that's the absolutely main thing. As long as you turn up and try and get something done, that's all you can ask. I don't think Team Seoul's put the brakes on at all during this tournament. It's just been a case where there's so many regions here. And honestly, this is probably one of the most competitive lobbies I've seen in a very, very long time. You know, 18 team lobby, it doesn't always lend itself the best to a super competitive gameplay. But honestly, here, it has worked out extremely well. Yes, you know, people have been forced into certain drop spots, but all these teams have adapted fantastically to it. Regardless, you know, everyone has turned up, like I said.
Ooh, definitely spotted the player there. Got eyes on, but TJB are guarding out on the bridge. North George trying to stop the Wildcats from moving through behind them, but they haven't had much of an impact. They haven't had much of a slowing effect. Lin not really getting the damage that they were looking for, taking out the wheel of that buggy as well. X-Ray playing around this wall, spotted by Tinksker. Gets a lick of damage in, but it's not going to be good enough as X-Ray takes that tumble. First aid on board for Tinksker's GK first, echoes that result with another knock onto X-Ray.
TJB causing such problems in the standings right now, especially for Wildcats, and with this new circle heading right up towards the northeast side. Dennisbank Wildcats in 7th place with 112 points. Today was the day where they could have potentially made it into that after-party showdown. But with so many players going down, and Lux basically having to give it up right now alongside Boran, who is taking a couple of bullets himself. You know, this is one of those situations where you have 2 more games to go, and the Wildcats have to have unbelievable results in those 2 if they want to see themselves into the after-party showdown.
It looks like TJB want to chase this one down, potentially. Chao just trying to pick up this flush and ensure this point. And we'll be able to do so. Nice and simple there, but Wildcats will be getting away with 2. Lux and Boran as they head in on the western side.
Virtual Game Squad up towards Severny, their secondary spot, usually liking to drop towards Lipovka, but this time around they dropped in Severny nice and early, and it's actually worked out for them, surprisingly. Box Gaming looking up towards 52 Esports. They're just trying to make themselves a little compound to share for some time. Try and stay away from a lot of this action. Fair few vehicles on board for these players, but don't want to get too ahead of themselves, knowing that there is a fair bit of the game left to go. Scry just get knocked here by Nigma Galaxy.
Okay, and Ralph is looking to plink away, pick up that flush. Nigma Galaxy, they're starting okay. This is the team that we talked about earlier. Needs a good performance to jump up into those top 5. Taking on Stalwart, proving that's the way to do it.
Yeah, this is great news for Team Falcons, honestly. Obviously not the best news for Mongolia, who are looking to claim yet again another title here over in the PMWI. But for Team Falcons, this does open the gap slightly, with only 3 players on Stalwart looking to weather the storm in these final circles. Team Falcons starting up in Yasnaya might be able to find themselves a decent spot and maybe ladder up, but we know what Stalwart can do. They live and live on. They're very, very resilient as a team. Some would even call them Stalwart themselves. But honestly, this is one of their key factors. It's very, very good. It helps them in terms of that consistency where, you know, even if they get a bad start to the game, they still make it up towards that 1st through 5th placings.
Yeah. Taking a look at this, so this second circle pop, it's an even further northern shift right now. But a lot of the teams have actually already made it fairly deep into this circle. They've managed to find a lot of positions. We're still 18 teams alive, Blank. We're still 66 players alive. The most players lost on a single team were the Wildcats, and they were in that engagement with TJB that we just saw. So at the moment, it's been fairly quiet in this lobby.
You've got like this little triangle slice that heads up towards Stalba, just outside of Yasnaya, right, where it's just all fields. It's very, very open, so it's slightly awkward to play in, so you're just looking for some compounds in this area. Quite flat terrain, honestly, just above Yasnaya Polyana. Obviously, there's still the fields in place, so that's a big chunk of area that just cannot be played, which is why you do see this fairly even line just across the top side. A lot of teams just looking for beneficial areas. You can see Nigma Galaxy as well as Atten, Esports taking position up towards Stalba. It's not always the best of spots because you do get circles like this, which may potentially not head up there. So you don't want to head up the mountain too early because coming down it is going to be one hell of a tumble.
Well, it does sometimes give you a little bit of control over that terrain, right? But it can be, as you say, very difficult to leave. It's not without its problems, not without its troubles.
Yeah.
Similarly, for Wildcats, with 2 players, they're going to really struggle to push past this glut of players on the western side.
Yeah, there's certainly staging in this area as well, so think of it almost like a staircase where, you know, you can play on various levels up towards Salba. But right now, it still seems to be a decent place to be playing at the moment. I think most teams aren't trying to move out there too early. Team Falcons just hedging their bets at the moment. They don't want to take it too far into the circle, rather just, you know, hold strong on this southeast edge. Morph at the moment. This is one of the games where, you know, we dropped in over towards Yasnaya, and Morph want to stay in this one as long as possible. Shows exactly what Indonesia can do. But it's USG who made a surprisingly early road save. But goodness me, the Wildcats once again harassed by TJB.
They will not let this one lie. TJB don't lose a knock either, but Seoul are on the case for a little bit of an answer now. It is traded off. Tinska will be able to get that answer out in the open, though. TJB have their player knocked. Lin needs a little bit of a rescue mission to be enacted here. Boran could prove to be a thorn in the side, but Hector gets across towards Lin's position. GK first, I don't think they're going to be able to... Hang on a minute. They did. They managed to land the shot. They managed to stop this push, and now it's all on Omega to push in and get this res on to Hector. Not only that, there's another player there as well. TJB have rallied around Lin's down position. GK first will scout this out, and in they go. The duo from the back will swing around the side. Whoa. GK first taken low, taken out as well. A spray over towards Akshat from Xiao behind the rock, and GK first will crawl to safety.
Quick smoke coming through from Xiao. Very, very concerned with his teammate's safety here. Akshat off in the distance. Did get that nice off angle, but now he has to leave. And like you said, they rallied together so very well in that play. TJB able to hold strong for just a little bit longer. They have caused a lot of problems so far, taking shots at a lot of different teams. Still only 3 eliminations, but mark that up to 5 now with the rest of the knocks coming through. Boran, though, coming back into action. Takes down GK first from afar.
But they know where he is, and he's not really got too much to work with here at the moment. Boran for the Wildcats, last player surviving. Potential to go down first in this game. Representatives from Turkey struggling at the hands of the European TJB on the western edge. How much further can they go? I think that's the majority of Seoul taken out as we saw that engagement. Akshat sent a lot more centrally. You can see him on the north side there near VGS and Enigma Galaxy. Circle does go their way, though.
Heads up towards that northeastern side, but Vampire Esports actually in a very good position. And considering where they drop as well, usually down towards Primos, they've made a very good run up towards here. So, you know, this is not one of the teams that I was paying too much attention to right at the beginning. So I may have missed their rotation here. So hopefully the desk will be able to fill us in on that. But they have got very, very well situated in this circle, surprisingly, to me at least. There's that replay of the car basically getting sent directly back to the manufacturer, where it'll need a couple of repairs.
Certainly think so. I mean, there's plenty of shrapnel in the bonnet. Won't run like it used to. Never will, unfortunately, Blank. But
yeah, that thing will be ready in 2035.
if you're lucky. Maybe they'll have... Yeah, maybe it will. Maybe they'll be able to patch that one up. But Enigma Galaxy, they're going to patch up their position against the ingress from Donuts USG. Unfortunately, Amodi takes a little bit of damage, repositioning the buggy. Doesn't go down just yet. The reload from Missile gives him some respite.
Donuts USG made an early rotate. I think they're definitely learning from their mistakes as this tournament has gone on. You know, staying in Rozhok for a little bit too long, maybe getting caught off guard. Lightning tries to pass through, and, you know, same as his namesake, they're able to do it. DD falls, but USG, goodness me.
Oh, they are going to be able to hold the second wave of that approach from RSG, but there's still pressure from the off angle. Lightning's been spotted, has got the teammate next to him. GZ is there as well. They both made it through. It's treacherous hillsides now, as GZ can turn up the hill towards Enigma Galaxy's position as they swing out to the eastern side. VGS have eyes on as well.
RSG were right underneath Stalwart down towards the south side, so they were very, very far behind, and this is a very typical RSG play. Just send it to the direct center of the circle and see what you can make do with it, but in this time, they have sent straight into the barbed wires of all these players and got cut up in the process. And that'll be RSG out. Again, with Enigma Galaxy still in the match here, this gives them great opportunity to ladder those 6 points at the beginning of the game.
Falcons taking on Stalwart. This is good news for the top of the table race right now. If you're a Falcons fan here in Saudi Arabia, Action getting taken very, very low, but does get away with it. In the meantime, Team Seoul eliminated. They will be out now, ranked 16th on the game. 15 teams remain, Blank. Oh, no
Horrific action. Yeah, out now, just top remaining. And Falcons, like we said before, they were patient. They waited for their turn in line, and now it seems that they'll be moving into the circle. And with Stalwart pushed out of the way, this is real opportunity to start making up those points from before.
Stalwart still have one player. They still got top, but it's on the outside there. Difficult stuff. Falcons with 4. One a limb on the cards. Back-to-back just over this ridge line. All looking to try and push into this compound. They will certainly see this US kill switch. Needs to be on the money for this. J-Way a little bit further down. Falcons yet to make that aggressive push. They're worried about the backstep.
See the smoke drop by top. They assume it's from that final player from Stalwart. Top just dropping on the iron sights. A lot of these players do tend to feel like the iron sights gives them a better shot, even at distance. We'll have the first aid. So Falcon really not letting these teams go at all. Morph, though, also in the sidelines, and Stalwart still has to move in. And with this circle down towards the southeast, Falcon, they've been thrown a bit of rope, and they're going to start clambering up it.
Try and get to the top of that cliff. I mean, at the moment, the top of the table's pretty close. They did let it slip just that little bit down in 3rd place. They started the game 12 points behind Vampire, 16 points behind Stalwart, who have just been eliminated now. So the further Falcons can go, the higher they'll fly.
Back-to-back. Somehow got that chicken dinner early today, doing some pretty neat work, but it was Vampire Esports that came in 2nd place against them. was very close at that. Now, Vampire Esports need to make a move off towards that eastern side, potentially. Right now, they've got Ravenclaw out the circle. It looks like they're just setting up the barricade versus a lot of these teams. They want to clear this western side, keep it as safe as possible, and play from there. Look at this little dugout they have in the rocks. This is going to be absolutely instrumental to their endgame.
Try and leverage that. Try and get something done. Back-to-back, engaging with Enigma Galaxy on their north side as the push comes through from the squad. Back-to-back, currently holding that compound on the top of the hill. We saw them push up to it earlier. Ralph looking to potentially get that res, but the backlines of Enigma Galaxy suffering as well on this aggressive move.
Yeah, that's one player going down already. Lord on knee, Ralph on knee as well. I think that's just one player up in Hamodi now. Real tough situation. Ravenclaw, what's this man been doing all his lonesome? Been providing so much good frontal fire for the rest of the team. Vampire Esports were able to scoop up a couple of points for themselves. Here's the nade earlier that put an end to Stalwart's run here on our angle.
The judge is able to get that spray down. Spots the player in the bush. Nicely found. Vampire Esports. They are just sending bullets every which way and somehow finding their mark on pretty much everything there. Morph looking to engage. Rocky doesn't get the knock there. Back behind cover and has to push back through the smoke. GK first spotted on the off angle there for Ravenclaw. Nicely picked up. TJB thinned down yet again.
Has to drop to the floor. We'll have to just jump up and go for the quick peek. Xiao actually goes down, and that's the support from the rest of the team you're looking for. That does send Vampire Esports down to just 3 players now, but they are racking up points slowly but surely.
Box are on their north side with a little bit heavier firepower right now, a little bit more hefty as the Vampires do suffer. Down to 3. Fluka, Stone and Schweppes. Still a formidable squad to be dealing with, and it seems like they've turned back up, but unfortunately for them, there's a knock, and Schweppes taken low. A really beautiful spray from Break to really suppress that position. It will slow them down. A southern shift comes through.
A long nade, but not quite long enough here, and this might just give time for Vampire to resurrect one of their fallen teammates. Morph taking knocks from Falcons up top side. That's never alone there, who had such a good run yesterday in their 1v2 versus the Korean powerhouse of Damwon Kia over on Erangel. So far, Falcons have been controlling this circle very nicely. Circle does come down to them now, but they've been playing it slow, safe, and calculated.
Enigma Galaxy still with 3 players. They've been able to pick up the pieces on the north side, and they are clearing that area. Very nicely found. I think that was Damwon Kia who did go down to them on the north side. Falcons, though, engaged with Morph right now, all very low. But they are looking to get those heals off, and they are succeeding for the most part here. Morph staying alive in those smoke covers.
Vampire Esports will be them sending the smokes out as well. Box slowly crawling their way up.
Oh.
There's one taken down on USG from Break here. Missile just tries to send his way up, propelled by hydrogen up this mountain.
Verse is still down in the dirt there, I believe, out in the open. Unless they did get eliminated there, I have to double check. But yeah, maybe they did get... No, 52, still there. Have their representative quite near to Box as well. Could prove problematic with that tiny little bit of cover out in the open. Vampire Esports finally able to take that Thorn out. As Missile fires down yet again over onto Break. Laid bare out in the open. Really not going to survive that. Tree not there in time. Only one player from Box now down the hill.
This is that deadly staircase I was talking about earlier. It's the staging, and Missile just took it for an absolute advantage. Enigma Galaxy, though, with 3 players still up right now and 8 eliminations. They have really gotten back into this one. Stepping back up to the plate now. Vampire Esports did a very good job to clear the western side from not the most amazing positioning considering the circle. I know it's time for them to start making this work, because honestly, after that first game on the first day, we really expected great things out of them, and now they're starting to bring it back into form.
Donuts USG go down to a nade from Enigma Galaxy there as well, and the north side is starting to get swept. Vampire Esports will be their next obstacle if they want to push this way, but Falcons dominating the majority of this circle. A knock over onto Enigma Galaxy will slow their approach from the north side.
That's from Vampire Esports as well. We currently have 6 eliminations. Falcons currently only with 3, but they have caused so much damage in this lobby. If it was just a knock here and there, slowly but surely, they are really cementing their ground in a very formidable position on the map at the moment. Fluketh, though, with the nade. This guy was on fire on a angle earlier on in this tournament. Now looking for a little bit more. Morph, 4 players alive.
Circle north towards Vampire Esports. A little bit more time there. Rocky did finally go down. The nade took the majority of that down red bar health away, leaving only 2 4-player squads alive. Falcon Esports and back-to-back. We've had probably some of their best results of the tournament so far today, but it might have been too little too late. Not so for the other teams.
Falcon, never alone with the MK14 in hand. That thing is absolutely brutal here in PUBG Mobile. The speed at which he can rattle off those shots is terrifying. There's Ralph, nade up top side. Not easy hitting these nades from that kind of angle either. But they are in the trenches, and Enigma Galaxy know exactly where to send these nades in.
This utility usage absolutely on point. Polo shimmies out wide to the left. Low HP, spotted behind the smoke, will be going down if it is going to be found out. Vampire Esports are still on a frag, and they will be hunting. Morph, go down to it. We're down to just 4 teams. Plenty of casualties popping up, and Falcons, unfortunately, suffering 2 of them.
Vampire Esports just pulling out the broom and dustpan because they have absolutely swept this edge of absolutely anyone that might have even dared to have challenged them. Fluketh looking for a little bit more loot from downhill. They are really limited on meds right now. You can see Stoned absolutely nothing on board to patch himself back up with. They'll be after sharing those meds at some point, so they will have to group back together. But Vampire Esports, they have been on a warpath.
Hamodi really taking the fight to back as well. 2 players up and standing for them, but it's only 1 player now. Just Hamodi himself with a 1 versus 1 against Kill Switch. Finds some shots underneath the vehicle, looking for more, but spray down is there, and it's J-Way to stand up tall for back on the top of the hill. Can they get these reses and get back to 3?
Swings out wide. Vampire Esports tries to take advantage of the situation, but Falcons, they're too fast with it. They're right into the scene. Peregrines here in the battlefield.
Looking to get on that hunt. J-Way behind the buggy, taken down. 4 players for Falcons versus the Vampires.
The wings are wide span right now, and this is where they start to block out the sun. But that's 1 going down already. Stone finding it again. No meds whatsoever. This fight is one of attrition, and it absolutely is that Falcons have the betterment in terms of supplies.
And Yusef's position behind this crate as well, if it finds it onto Stoned, is great. But it looks like Stoned has the info that there is a player there. What can be leveraged from this spot as the circle moves more towards Vampire?
You can just barely see him in the grass if you're Yusef, but that's mainly because we've got the X-ray on right now, so very difficult for Yusef to even identify this. Question is, how much utility does Vampire Esports have left? And I think they've got absolutely nothing. Luckily, there was a loot crate on their side, but it's 1 apiece either side. Never alone, nade in hand. Stoned actually finds Yusef, and he can't quite hit the shots. That takes him down to 2. Vampire Esports are making this happen.
10 eliminations up to 11 as Never Alone gets tagged. In they go with the push. Fluketh up to the feet as well. Never Alone knocked. It's all down to powerful for Falcons, but the Vampires running up the hill will be able to take it down. It's Vampire Esports with a chicken dinner. What a resurgence from this team.
The thing that Des was talking about was that, you know, Team Falcons, Stalwart Esports, both these teams have the ability to catch Vampire Esports up at that 190 point mark.
Yeah, it's still a closable gap, right? It's still very much something that can change on a dime. Plane path starting to come through on Miramar, as Jason said, the penultimate match of the day. The plane path from Valle de Mar all the way up to El Azahar. That rhymes. That's nice. I like it.
Yeah, you like that a lot. What I like a lot is when we get this PMWI watch together, so you can complete those daily missions to earn points, and once enough points are accumulated, tap the rewards icon to claim the corresponding reward.
You can participate in the event solo or team up with other players. Both is totally fine. And of course, if you team up, it could be a little bit easier to get those rewards.
And just before we head right into game proper, there is a PMWI gunskin and outfit, and that sale period is from the 4th of August through to the 13th of August as well. 50% off PMWI packs, and you get a set straight away and 5 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
And from tomorrow, the 14th of August, until the 15th of September, so next month, there will be 16% off PMWI packs, where you get 6 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
And as we head into our final games of the day, we cannot forget the PMWI Champions Celebration from the 4th of August through the 13th, all used in the region of the top 3 teams. Obviously, you know exactly who they are right now. We'll have the chance to win a prize, and it's a maximum of 1 award per user. So that includes Saudi Arabia, as well as Mongolia, and also right at the top, Thailand.
Yeah, looking to try and pop those rewards into those regions with a maximum of 1 per user. And of course, not only can you get rewards that way, but if you're contributing towards our peak concurrent viewers, if we reach 100 million live viewers watching, then everyone could get items in the 2022 PMWI Lucky Crate with a maximum of 1 award per user.
And you want to do that? You want to head into the in-game 2022 PMWI Watch Together event every day from the 11th of August for more information. Now, heading right into it, Seoul already losing 1 player right off the bat. It's Box Gaming here in Picardo, and these 2 teams are at it again. They just will not let up. Bensu hits the floor. Goblin also will take a tumble. It's back and forth here, John.
1 for 1 right now, but another knock found swiftly over onto Hector. It's looking Box right now. Team Seoul with 2 players, both close to each other, but their teammates are getting flushed out. Not so for the Box Gaming squad. Akshat and Omega, last 2 standing now. It looks like they are going to get these reses for Box as well.
So 2v2, unfortunately, the 2 players from Seoul have been knocked and also eliminated. So no chance of getting those 2 guys back up again. But Box will be able to get up to a full squad. Nice little split from these 2 teams to make this one happen. Vampire Esports over towards Minas Generales at the moment, just to the north of Morph. Morph with kind of a chance, I'll say kind of a chance of making it to that top 5. It is Omega, who's trying to do the do-si-do with these 2 players. Can't quite make it happen.
Giving them the fancy feet, finds 1, gets the reload, but goes for the weapon. Goodness swap, a second, it's Omega for Team Seoul, finds 2 on Box, and Akshat now with a chance to get some healing done as well. They are going to try and take the fight to Box and Trisme.
I take it back with a pirouette and a waltz there. It will be a quick comeback from Team Seoul there. Beautiful stuff. And this will see them up to a 2v2 in a scenario that we did not expect to happen. Now, Trisme, nade in hand, has a pretty good idea of where these players are, but Akshat immediately moves out the way. Wiser in this situation.
Picardo right now bathed in bullets. Casings everywhere, blankets gone back and forth. Losing 2 players early. When you're in this central position, really far from ideal for both of these teams. It's not what you want to see, especially if you're looking to just try and put as many points on the board as you can. Try and ladder up to those higher earning placements on the overall tables.
Extremely important. Just getting those points right now, every little bit counts, especially if you're trying to hold on to those top 5 spots currently claimed by Vampire, Stalwart, Falcons, Damwon Kia, as well as Enigma Galaxy, who are all set right now to make it into the after-party showdown. There will be an extra $1 million on the line, including the $2 million from the PMWI event itself. So lots of money to be had here in the PMWI, as well as the after-party showdown, which will be a little bit more fun. We got a load of prizes there, but you'll find out more about that on Thursday. I'm sure Jason Kaplan will be very happy to fill you in on all the details when it comes to them. But right now, it's all about these final moments of the PMWI. So many regions facing off.
For Glory to try and claim that top spot at the moment. It's the Thai team on the top. Vampire Esports, who started off the tournament marvelously strong. The 24 elimination game. As James said on the desk, we didn't think they were going to be able to get back up to that average, that day 1 average eliminations, but they've nearly done it so far today. Another good performance would tip them over that edge and plunge them into the precipice of success, which is not a metaphor used often, but I feel it fits here.
That's fair enough. Well, I mean, you know, It was very much the night on day 1. The sun apparently came up day 2 and Vampire withered away, but as nightfall once again, here in day 3, it's time for Vampires to reign supreme. See exactly what they can get done, but there is still those 2 games and 21 points. It may put you just ahead of teams, but at this point in the tournament, it is miles ahead and can look quite daunting. But Falcons and Stalwart, we know these are 2 teams. Daunting is just another word in the vocabulary to them. They'll make it happen regardless or not.
Not too many teams outside of Picardo struggling right now. Fairly disparate in positioning. No one really clashing just yet. But RSG, TJB, Vivo Keyed from the north side, all starting to eke their way more central. You can see Morph there as well on your screens on the right-hand side, on the north end of Los Leones, potentially looking for a central position as well.
Morph having, a slow comeback from day 1 and making it onto the first page of the leaderboard today is actually somewhat of an achievement in my opinion. Starting day 1 in a firm 18th place, start crawling their way back up to here. Just talking to the coach of that team, and it's an 18-hour flight. So, I was only on a 6-hour flight, and that was rough to say the least. But
it got delayed.
It did get delayed. That is correct. But regardless, to come here, compete the highest level, that's what you got to do as a player. And really, Morphers made it happen. And you've got to be proud of the Indonesian team, especially if you are part of their region. Be able to crawl back up, climb back up at this point, with the head held high. Again, though, there is still a chance for Civ to get into top 5. That's what we love about the PMWI, is that right now it is so scary for a lot of these teams at the top, because at any moment you can be shunted out of the top 5.
The gap between 1st and 5th right now is fairly significant, sitting at 54, I believe, between the two, if my maths is correct. As they say, never do maths live on air. But that gap, whilst it seems daunting right now, it just requires the team at the top, currently Vampire Esports, to have a bad game, and that gap can close very quickly if you're one of those teams that can have a very, very good game, as all of these top 5 teams are. But the gap between 5th and 6th place, it's so much closer. The laddering up between 3rd and pretty much 7th is really still all to play for.
Look at the maps, new circle coming your way very, very shortly. Right now, Stalwart up towards San Martin. Action still claiming the top spot with 35 eliminations. But check that out. Stoned actually made his way onto this leaderboard again with 31 eliminations. And we thought Lightning got onto that page very, very quickly. But it looks like Stoned is very hesitant to let that disappear. And with the back-to-back chicken dinners also just behind Action in terms of damage, that could be a shake-up towards the MVP list, to be honest with you, let alone just Vampire Esports' current point totals. Circle heads over towards the eastern side, towards La Bandita. We've seen this circle previously in the tournament before. Very rough to play. Graveyard may as well be a literal term for the position on the map, considering there is very, very barren, and that is where so many people do get buried on this map, because it's just very, very difficult to get through that small little funnel. There's so many teams come into that area, they crunch together, end up fighting one another. So a lot of these teams just looking for a good position on the map, and there's still opportunity for this to be an urban ending down towards Los Leones.
Absolutely. On a couple of hard shifts, absolutely. It would prove to be pretty tricky. Could also be an urban ending in Picardo, which is still very much in the zone, right? So we've got a lot of different potential opportunities. You talked about Graveyard being a literal term at the moment. Falcons sat in that area, right? Do you think they're going to be able to make it out of this? They have a lot of time to play with, but if they don't take that opportunity, potentially could prove troublesome.
It's the question of where this next circle goes, right? If we get really packed into that area, then yeah, things start to get a little bit more difficult for Falcons. But right now, they're using high ground to their advantage. As you can see right there, as I say it, there's your snipe down. Beautiful headshot comes through to take the knock. So, this is the high ground advantage you get to play on this little ridge line. But yeah, later on in the game, if we head up here, then it becomes tough. Goodness me, Xiao just sending it back. Killswitch has to duck back out of the window, lest he lose his head.
A couple of headshots found there. You can see the level 2 helmet took a lot of damage. Level 3 vest, though, so luckily those weren't body shots. Otherwise, that would have damaged that lovely, pristine 3-tick vest. You love to see those. Fortunately, Daku not so lucky. Only the one.
Just needs to plant his feet on the ceiling, apparently, and have his head out of view underneath the window and his vest on show. That's going to keep him very, very safe.
Yeah, I think that would. Yeah, on the
Yeah, if gravity didn't exist, of course.
Yeah, in a gravityless vacuum, then yeah, absolutely. Assuming he's a point.
Oh, look at that. FLC for the Falcons. Goodness me. The turnout has been absolutely incredible, John. You love to see it. Falcons on screen right now, giving them some love. Oh, dear me. Damar, don't do that. That's very mean to you, fellow player. Virtual Gaming Squad taking some knocks over from Aton Esports. They're down towards the southeast side, trying to make their way through Los Leones, but it's the Wildcats who really hold a very good position up towards the north side of Los Leones to hold out both Aton as well as Virtual Gaming Squad and hopefully pick up a couple of points here.
The crowd happy with their performance there, as they should be. Next circle soon to come on
to everyone else.
Yeah. Well done us. Well done us.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Enigma Galaxy slow, well, maybe not slow, but they are last to come in from the blue on that western side right now. Next circle just about to pop. We were talking about where those hard shifts could fall, how problematic that could be depending on where it goes. And it's north. Picardo on the south side of it, that graveyard position on the east.
So for Stalwart, this is actually fairly decent. Picardo still in the picture, and with both those teams that originally dropped in Picardo and Box as well as Seoul, you know, these two teams, they are not looking too healthy coming into these circles towards the end. So it does mean that Picardo can be taken up residence by another team should they want to drop into here nice and quick. And, you know, Damwon here, we've known them for flying into circles. That's exactly what they're doing right now. Looks like they're heading towards the foothills of Picardo, towards that northern side. Damar tries to get across. Naoto taking some pot shots with the Mini 14, but this guy, he's got the moves in the vehicle. He's going to do a full flip over the top. Can he land it? Doesn't need to. Drops out, bends the knees. That's suspension.
You're right. That is suspension. Goodness me. Bouncy knees. Do you think? He popped a tiny little bend in the knee.
Yeah.
Kept it in. Springs for thighs, that's what they call him.
Damn.
Goodness me. Lasers for eyes, though. As they do sit down, one of the players from Vivo keyed up the hill.
That is the second headshot of the game coming through from Never Alone. Goodness me. Okay. Give this guy a sniper and give him some clear skies, and he'll find as many players as you need here. Falcons are...
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Falcons here to take names and heads, apparently.
RSG in a little bit of a scuffle. Not too much right now, but there's a team just in front of them that they're going to have to be worried about. Morph, I believe, that's just over the hill. As we get a little replay, as Damar sends it on up and over. We're getting the suspended knees there. Stays alive. Very, very good. But back-to-back, engaging with Enigma Galaxy and not having the best of time of it right now. Enigma Galaxy have been absolutely on a tear today so far. Blank, their day one performance would not have led us to believe that this is the same team.
Well, does go low, but back-to-back, taking a fair amount of shots from Freak here. With the M4, that vehicle is not going any longer there. They'll have to take it on foot now, but still there are shots ringing out towards them.
52 slinking their way across the hillsides. RSG trying to have some oversight. But the ridge line has been spotted. Vaz under pressure from Lightning, one of our MVP candidates, and taking out the vehicle. That's going to do the job. Boom goes the dynamite. Vaz takes a knee.
Very good tracking on this player, honestly, and he's going to go for another here.
Ooh, Lightning takes a lot of damage, but they get a second knock on these vehicles. I don't know what's going on, but 52 Esports lose 2 out in the open.
Daku here looks at the buggy and just doesn't know whether it's his savior or in this case, it is a curse. Every single vehicle that 52 Esports has sent through, RSG have torn apart. Honestly, it is just not looking good for them. Next circle pops down towards Picardo. More on the roadside, but it's Virtual Gaming Squad dropping in on down one Kia. They look like they didn't expect this, but Yafos is already down. Junie, nade in hand.
On that forefront, trying to get a little angle there, and we'll be able to get a flush onto Yafos. VGS not having the greatest time. Never alone up in the elimination feed again, by the way. This guy's a madman with this sniper, looking for the eagle eye prize there, but seeing what they can get done in terms of eliminations first. Down one Gaming, they've got Team Soul. Remember, they are down to 2 from earlier engagements on their south side. Box similarly hampered. They are down to 1 now as 52 finally get eliminated. Down one here, not looking to go for this full push just yet.
I don't need to go for it. They are all the way on this southwest edge. Sung does get knocked by Team Soul, or at least the remnants of them, over towards Picardo. Looks like Akshat does have eyes on from that area.
Sung should be resable though. They should be able to get that one back up, hopefully so. Stalwart under fire, action close to Vivo Keed. He took a knock earlier from the barrel of Never Alone. But now they're engaged with one of our top fraggers in the tournament, Action, trying to get some intel. Pika swings out wide. Might be able to get this player on the wall. Looking for that engagement. Action looks good, and there's the 1-2 punch from Stalwart. Nice coordination coming through on that aggression. The oversight from Adrian, not going to happen there. Not going to work for them. Diego takes a lot of damage from Pika. This is coordination from Stalwart. This is why they are one of the top teams in this tournament.
Really well done so far. Vivo Keed not even able to put a dent into them. Stalwart is holding it down up towards that San Martin. Move down just a little bit along the ridge side to the power grid. And on to the east, taking up residence inside this compound. Very difficult to see out, and there's a lot of different angles that Stalwart can take from this area. It just gives them time to, you know, keep a little bit of a timer on this for themselves. They can start to make their move later. It's what they usually do. Right now, this is just an area to keep it calm. Falcon, though, double nade from Powerful onto USG. It looks like Team Falcons, they are not done yet.
No, they are just going to keep on going. 2 elimination points now found. Although that's probably not the story that you tell having watched this game. It feels like they've had much more of an impact so far. RSG with the highest elimination count at the moment, bar Team Soul, who have had 4, but RSG, all 4 of them alive as well. Vivo Keed. Okay, I thought they were a little bit suffering here, but it seems like Stalwart have had a taste of their own medicine. Adrian from the top rope sends it in. Splashdown.
Oh my days, Circle.
Wow.
On top of Falcons now. This is a really big chance for them, but there is another team inside of this circle just to the east of them. It is Vampire Esports looking to sweep the eastern side, but they take a knock. Never Alone introducing the world to air conditioning, 1 hole in a head at a time.
Goodness me, that man is absolutely insane with this M24. Do not want to get in his sight lines. And on Miramar, it's the perfect place to do it, right? A lot of open ground.
I am in disbelief. I don't think I've seen this many headshots with a sniper ever. Now Wildcats are coming in. Take down a player from Vampire Esports. These guys are now just down to 2 players. This really opens things up now for Falcon. Vampire Esports, they need to look for themselves for an end game finish. A top 5, top 4 would be ideal. This is where they need to see themselves at. But with 2 players, it's a question of how long can they live here. 15 teams alive at 20 minutes. It's only going to get harder for a lot of these teams.
At the start of the game, they had 21-point buffer to play with, right, Blank? So Vampire Esports, they need consistency right now. 10 points a game should be enough to see them through, barring Team Falcons popping off, barring Stalwart having absolutely stonker of a game, but it's still very much up for grabs. This team, Enigma Galaxy and Down One Gaming close by. The nade bobbles around, it comes back. How on earth do you manage that?
I don't know how he lives through that one, but somehow he does. Vampire Esports taken down to just one player now. Lord trying to send some nades over the top. Unfortunately, Morph is now out in 13th place. That climb is ended here. The Wildcat's still going, though. Just with Boran. I was talking to the Turkish casters earlier. Sinan telling me that, you know, Boran on those final days, in those final matches, that's where he really starts to pop off.
Enigma Galaxy take a knock over towards Ralph. And Lord as well, jousting up the hill. TJB entering the fray. A three-way fight right now over on the western edge. Lin spotted. Yeah, you're not going to win that one. Lord able to do the work. Enigma Galaxy play up that hill, take down TJB, and now they can focus their aggression over towards Damwon. But they have taken a lot of damage in the meantime, and Damwon Kia are not going to let it slide.
Continuing to hold them back. They're right outside the blue, but the blue is doing the majority of the work. Great Molotovs from Damwon Kia will take out the remainder of the players, taking them to 5 eliminations here. Great stuff here from Damwon Kia.
Enigma Galaxy go down, and Damwon Kia, great news for them as well, because they can start to challenge for those top spots. RGS, Regan's Gaming at the moment, suffering. If they go down here, they might lose out on their chance to push back into the top 5.
Boran is just not letting up for the Wildcats. 3 players still in this. Schweppes all in his lonesome for Vampire Esports. He is starting to ladder up, though. 7 teams remain, 17 players still in this. Falcons head-to-head here with Stalwarts. Unfortunately, it's Stalwart with Damwon Kia, sorry, coming in from the behind.
The nades will find their way in towards Store. I have no doubt. Cielo for Vivo Keed could prove to be a little tricksy, if he so chooses, but finding the time might be a better answer. A double nade comes through. Damar able to open things up, but in the meantime, Damwon Kia have descended away from this engagement. They know this next circle is better for them if they can get there.
Another nade comes over the top, takes down the 2 players that were knocked there. Now Falcons, they're looking to take themselves somewhere safer. They dealt with Vivo Keed. They've sent Stalwart packing. And now it's time to head on over the road. This is where it gets difficult, but Powerful's already made his way across, but there's still 1 player remaining from Vivo Keed. It's Cielo.
And that's what we're talking about. Could be tricksy. Vivo Keed still in the fight. 7 teams remain with Vampire Esports on #1 spot right now, also with a lone survivor. How far can Team Falcons push to try and catch up to that gap? 3 players remain. Wildcats with 3. Damwon Kia suffering. 2 players down. Only the 1 just Junie up, and that's not long for this one. Damwon Kia eliminated. 4 teams remain now. Stalwart, Falcons, Vampire, all still in this.
Damwon Kia crash and burn on the other side of the road. So a nice couple of shots coming through from top. You can never count this guy out from Stalwart. Falcons, though, they did make their way across. Now the Wildcats. It's here, the Turkish team looking to make up some of the points right at the final hurdle.
20 points right now sat behind the leaders. Falcons, they're going to need, well, if they get a chicken dinner, they'll be able to get 15 points from that. So they need 5 more points to draw level. And at the moment, there's not that much in the lobby. So Falcons right now cannot jump up and challenge for the first spot, but they can put themselves right at the door of victory for the final game if they take this one home.
Can definitely go neck and neck, but ooh, top here, taking bullets from Wildcats. He really just wants to ruin the days of Falcons at the moment. He wants to be the one and his team just behind Vampire Esports, and it is just neck and neck between these 3 teams right now, but Top's find himself a safe position at the moment.
Wildcats, I mean, we haven't talked about them a whole lot, but there is a possibility that they could jump up towards that top 5 position with Stalwart going down. If they can take out Falcons, they could potentially be booking themselves an invite towards that after party next week as well.
They've got the tickets in the basket. Now it's time to go to the checkout. Well, that won't come till their angle. We'll see if they can get there first. Yusuf, though, just crouched down, waiting, biding his time. Circle, dead center. Neither of these teams want to make the first move. Never Alone has been absolutely unbelievable this match. 4 headshots so far. with the sniper in hand. Powerful drops a nade over.
If you can get that opening, oh, that's perfect. Boran goes down. He was their point man as well. If Never Alone can find a snipe, it's going to bring them into a 1 versus 3, but they push in instead. Rifles in hand. UMP to lead the charge. M4 to back it up. Powerful. Sprays down Defoe. And the Falcons ride strong across the top. They want this so badly here in Riyadh that they are going to push all the way back towards Lux. 1 versus 3. The Falcons challenging for these top spots. They want to take this one home, and they will do so. A chicken dinner in the penultimate game. 27 points on the game.
These top 5. But it's the Denny's Bank Wildcats who have been really pumping stuff out in that last game to try and push into that top 5. For the Turkish team, you know, this would be absolutely monumental for them. But Stalwart, 178, 20 points exactly behind Vampire Esports. We cannot count them out yet. From day to day, they have been our most consistent team.
Certainly have. One more chance to prove that consistency here as the playing path comes on in for the last time. From Novo up to Stel, but this time around it's a little east leaning. So Gatka, Hospital, Georgopol, a little bit late drop.
Another up Neuer though. Instant drop there for Stalwart. They can get looted and booted and ready to go. Looking at our leaderboards at the moment, Vampire Esports still fielding Stone there with 31 eliminations. Lightning, 32, but it's still Action, who really has been man of action for our tournament so far. Getting some absolutely wild stuff done. Wildcats also will be able to get themselves onto North Sosnovka almost immediately. Even maybe down towards military base. And Vampire Esports will have to drop very, very long here with this eastern playing path over towards Quarry. So that does make things difficult for them. I think he got all those headshots last match.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That was quite impressive. Action just about holding on to the knock record. 31 to 30 to 30 on our leaderboard right now. The MVP race must be absolutely spiced out the wazoo right now, Blank.
Honestly, we've had so many good individual players from practically all of these teams that it is going to be a weird one to check it out. Oh, dear me.
Ooh.
This is one of the circles where maybe teams will have to change their drops. And in the very final match of the PMWI, we are seeing an absolute curveball being thrown at us.
Wow, what a shift. On an eastern plane as well, this is really going to clump those teams up to that eastern side, right? Not a lot of teams are going to want to go all the way out to Georgopol, so that's TJB who could potentially be hit here on a difficult position for themselves. You can see they are on that north side and going to try, well, we can see that they are on that north side, still trying to go for that sort of area, but do they wrap back, try and go somewhere else?
It's the difficulty, right? I mean, they want to get looted there straight away. But it's a struggle, just with the way the circle's gone. But this is going to be a very interesting ending to our tournament. Diego, nothing but a pistol in hand. And TJB have got looted up just a little bit faster.
Yeah, even that shotty, that UMP, there's no way you could stand up to that with a pistol against 2. I mean, miracle shots would be necessary, but it's just not going to happen. Nice high nade there to scarce yellow, if nothing else. Lin gets the spray down. Okay. There is potential here with that shotgun in hand to shut down a stairway push. With the K9 for Lin ready to bark.
Just want to leave him alone here. Don't even bother with it. Real struggle now for Vivo, Keed, TJB, but these are not the teams in the story that we are telling today between Falcons, Stalwart, as well as Vampire Esports. I've really stamped a place in our memories, and hopefully yours too.
Certainly have. Certainly mine. This will be an event to remember for sure. And if you've been watching... Ooh. Okay, hang on a minute. There we go. That was the bark I was talking about. It's ready. Woof, woof.
Pink skirt with Lin, heads up top side. Now it's one last player. K9 Ooh. Tries to send it in there, like you said. Cannot close the jaws around the target. I sent some UMP shots down there.
if you've been following these storylines, if you've been watching TJB over these last couple of days, following that race for the top spot, then of course you have been watching with us and trying to earn those daily missions to earn points. Once you earn enough points, once you've accumulated those, you can tap on the rewards icon in-game to claim the corresponding reward.
You can participate in that event solo or team up with other players. Both ways is absolutely okay, and teaming up could help you get that reward even easier. There's also another reward here for everyone at home. PMWI gun skins and outfits through from the 4th of August through to the 13th of August is 50% off PMWI packs. You get a set straight away and 5 chances to draw the PMWI treasure. Okay, Lynn. It just looks so good on screen.
Yeah, well, if you aren't going to jump in for those sales, and I don't see why you wouldn't, the 14th of August, so tomorrow that starts, until the 15th of September, there will be 16% off PMWI packs where you get 6 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
And from the 4th of August all the way through to the 13th, which is today, ending soon, all users in the region of the top 3 teams with a chance to win a prize, and that's a maximum of 1 award per user. And, you know, talking about getting things done and celebrating, you know, if you tune into the PMWI live stream and we reach 100 million live watching, then everyone could get items in the 2022 PMWI Lucky Crate. That is also a maximum of 1 award per user.
So visit the in-game 2022 PMWI Watch Together area every day from the 11th onwards for more information.
Looking back at the game, we're back on board with Vampire Esports. You have opted to head down towards Quarry and Primorsk. I didn't want to do anything too fancy here, especially in the last game, and honestly, I don't blame them. This is the smart thing to do. Aton Esports down towards Milter Power. A drop that they're very familiar with. Back-to-back, though, move slightly across from Milter, and it's Regans who actually moved down towards that shelter area, you know, just taking up a little bit more room on the southern side and actually coalescing quite quickly here.
TJB did strike out towards that North Georgia position. No teams in very close conflict right now, which is really what we're looking for. Wildcats and Stalwart potentially coming into a scrap, a scramble, a scrabble for bridge control on the eastern bridge from Military Island. No shots just yet ringing out. Scouting being done right now.
You know, Wildcats are actually moving very, very close, like you said, John. Stalwart's just playing it pretty slow. I think they kind of expected this too. With Circle being so much towards the east, this is one of the few times that Wildcats might want to even go for this eastern bridge crossing and where it really does benefit Stalwart. It also means that it looks like Box is getting directly in position just outside that eastern bridge. They have vehicles. We haven't seen really any bridge camps up until now. Back-to-back tries. Takes some shots over towards Aton Esports, very close together in Milter Power and Milter.
Looking at where this circle is, I mean, you've got to imagine that Milter is going to be a strong position to be holding around in these coming minutes. So getting that claim early could prove to be good, or could prove to be a downfall if a lot of teams decide the same, right? If they decide everybody wants to go in there, everybody wants a piece of that pie, it could be just too much pressure to bear and nobody could come out as a winner-winner chicken dinner from that region. Just have to wait and see, Blank. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of PUBG Mobile.
And we do love PUBG Mobile.
Hell yeah.
100%. Fair few teams out inside of the blue at the moment. Vampire Esports is one we always expect, especially going down towards Primos, Quarry, and Ferry Pier. They are now starting to make their move, and make their move they will have to. It's not one of those games where they can just sit pretty and wait this out and take the first place prize. Flower C looks over towards Yusuf. Not a good start for Falcons, but luckily they do get that player out of dodge. Look how damaged he is. Going into this game with 3 players would have been horrendous, and luckily able to make it out alive. But like I said, you know, Vampire Esports, they cannot sit on their laurels here. Only 2 points behind them is Team Falcons. So they will need to put up some points, or at least Falcons will need to go down early in this game, which I'm sure everyone here in Saudi Arabia does not want.
No, certainly not. I And you've got to remember that chase for 5th place spot as well. With Wildcats on 135, facing off against Stalwart on this military island, this is a proving ground for them, right? If they're able to come through, I feel like they would deserve that top 5 spot, but they have to be able to come through. That's a brutal shift, Blank. That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water. This actually is quite good for Stalwart, in fact, because it means that they can wait. They don't have to cross the bridge just yet. They can sit around, chill out, and take this game a little bit more slow, particularly with the circle heading out down towards them. So there's no urgency for them, so they can start to make their move if they want to. DD is absolutely having a right barrel roll of his life over there. Flower C walks on past, well, drives on past, but does take a quick look out in that direction. Vampire Esports, you can see them just starting to make their way up the coast. Box shot out by 2 teams at the moment, back-to-back and Stalwart.
It's far from ideal. Bad for business. Bensu will get that heal off, so stays alive. The Coop left a little bit too far forwards for recouping that one. If you'll pardon the pun. Stalwart going to push in from the back as well, and Top takes some shots over towards Bensu. The firing line is established. Box caught in a mincemeat.
Stalwart would love to pick up a couple of these knocks and a couple of these eliminations as well. In fact, actually taking 1 knock over towards back-to-back and a couple of knocks over towards Box. So this is a great time to come in and try and third party. Top even throwing the nade out the vehicle. Goodness me, the moving grenade. They really want to get this fight started and underway. They want to finish it quick.
If they can take that aggression to back-to-back, you have Morph to worry about in the same time as well. They could prove to be useful, but Donuts, USG, no, sorry, Team Soul have rocked up on the back as well. Goodness me, everybody's moving along the south coast, and Stalwart will take heavy fire. Pika trying to suppress this line as Top takes a tumble.
This is not good right now. Stalwart down to 3 players. They're taking this game very, very fast at the moment, trying to be swift with it because they know they need those eliminations, but it's Soul who comes in right at a very crucial moment for STE. You can see Vampire Esports just behind them right now. Everyone on this coastal line.
Team Soul spraying down the back again. Box. They have just had such a terrible time on this rotation. I think about 4 teams have been shooting at them. And they are just not going to survive this one out. It's an unfortunate end to their last game, although they're not completely out just now. 10th place at the start of this game. They will be struggling to get much more done with just, I believe, Break left for the squad. Yeah, there he is. You can see full HP. Goblin has been spotted. Action. Contending for that MVP spot as well. You've got to remember, there's a bit of money on the line here as well for Action alone. So even if Stalwart don't have the best of performances, if Action can get a couple of limbs on, if he can get a lot of damage in, would be good.
Cheeky peek coming through from Action. This is why he's one of our top fraggers. Vampire Esports, you can see them on the map right now, starting to rotate over the top side of all of these teams. They hear this shots ringing out, and they just want to find a position where they're not going to be taking too much fire. Stop just towards the north side of Milter, waiting for this next circle to pop now. Down 1. Oh my goodness me. This is a circle to end the PMWI on. I mean, it's certainly a circle, that is for sure. Aton Esports, USG, both pretty happy with this. They were backed into a corner, but now it looks like they're backed into the last available space on the map.
Wow. Okay. All right. How much of the circles is currently water right now? I feel like it's a good 50 to 60% at least. This peninsula, far from kind. Can the Wildcats get across as well? Of course, they're still in that race for 5th place.
Vampire Esports, though, down 1 Kia, rocking on past. Stone gets tossed out of the vehicle on the rotate. They lose 1 here. Doubtful that they'll be able to get Stone back up again. We'll see if there's any camaraderie here for the Vampire Esports team to get them back up, back in action as a full 4.
Staying alive, though. They are answering and answering in force. Vampire Esports find Sung, find Junie. And they are absolutely furious that they've lost their teammate there. Onba across the way for Damwon Kia with 2 players remaining now. They're in 4th place and with good performances from other teams are at risk of dropping from those top 5 as well.
This is terrifying at the moment. Damwon Kia, yes, they tried to send it dead central, but they've only made it in with Omba and Forest now. At this point in time, they'd be lucky to get some placement points. It would be such a shame for them to lose the after-party showdown right here, just at these final moments.
The Falcons so far being a little bit quiet, but I imagine that's about to change. 4 Rivals swinging in past the back of Milta Power along that cliffside. 4 Rivals, this push for them specifically is going to be really, really treacherous. In go Box Gaming's last player. Break against Stalwart with 3. It's not going to last long. Action picks up another one in the race for MVP.
He's wanting to hold this. Pika knows that a nade gets thrown out, sees a little underhand as he walks in. It was an underhanded play. And in this case, both the players from STE, they just wait it out. Falcons right on the northeastern edge. 1 player on the floor. It's Damar here. Most likely will lose him. Appy searching the smoke for that player. Powerful, takes a bit of damage. Yusuf's on the drive. They're looking for areas to just stay safe in. It's those 2 points they're behind him. Vampire Esports, similarly, not in the best of situations.
It feels like Team Falcons kind of let that one happen and allowed 4 Rivals to descend from their cliffside position and now are potentially on the back foot in their race to try and challenge Vampire Esports for the top spot, for the trophy. The Thailand team taking them on. The circle goes back landward.
And this is good for Vampire Esports. You've got to admit, these guys are like one of those medieval battering rams. They will make it into the circle through rain or sunshine. It does not matter. They were in Quarry, Primorse. Now they're in the dead central of the circle now, despite even the incredible hardships that have kept coming out here. Now Falcons, smokes are down. They've got to get through the gates, get through the fences, and hopefully find their way into this circle. But USG are all looking over towards them.
Donuts USG taking those pot shots, but they can swing around the north side here. Zone 4, so the zone won't be super hardcore right now, but if they get knocked outside too far, they will not be able to get that res. Making it to these buildings, really, really good news, but they're going to really expend a lot of their vehicle utility here.
Enigma Galaxy looking on down towards them. They see Morph off in the distance. Falcons pretty close by, if not a little bit closer to them. Check on the other side. Action. Takes a couple of hits from Team Soul. Pika just sending it in. Has to get immediately out, but does get knocked by back-to-backs Polo. He was looking for the Wizard Tower. Wasn't able to find it. And Avada Kedavra kill switch. Looking to find the rest of the team.
The teams that were the downfall of Box Gaming now duking it out with one another. Back-to-back Stalwart and Soul. All in a line. Still on that western side. Pushing in from Milta. They're on that eastern side. At the moment, Stalwart with the worst of it. Crunched in the middle. That's not a sandwich you want to be the filling of.
Well, they are suffering. That's that thick bread that is weighing down on them from both ways.
It's like soda bread. It's some hefty, hefty stuff.
It is difficult to muscle through, but I'm not sure if even Stalwart can make this one happen. Vampire Esports, though, keeping it chilled out after losing one of their players. Still 3 eliminations, despite everything. Quite decent here. Falcons yet to even score 1.
But survival could be all that matters if one of them takes a tumble early on. You do not want to be taking massive risks here with the score so close. You know you just need to outlast the other team. Sure, there's the possibility that Vampire Esports get a 500 million kill game, right?
Yep.
Elimination game. But Team Falcons, do they take that bet? Probably not. Stalwart on 178 at the start of this game, trying to pick up as many points as they can to solidify that 3rd place position that they started the game in. Kill switch, take the nade.
Action with a nade at the top. Sorry, I've just noticed something. The Vampire Esports currently on 4 players. So Stoned actually was able to just army
Oh.
crawl his way all the way across the map and get picked back up again.
I mean, he is a vampire. Maybe he resurrected, you know?
Or just turned into a bat and flew on over. You know, his wing was a bit wounded, but
Spooky.
it was absolutely fine for them. Vampire, though, goodness me, no man left behind. Not on their winning game.
It is their run. It is their chance. Stalwart eliminated now. So third place up for grabs. If one of those teams sat behind them, down one Kia, we aren't only on 2 players, or Enigma Galaxy, potentially a little bit more likely to be able to take that. Could jump up and maybe steal that position away. But with both of those teams still alive, it's the Wildcats chase that is very much at risk.
Right now, they're taking shots over towards back-to-back. Vampire Esports, Sertani was saying that, you know, they're a positionally heavy base team. And honestly, coming from Primos, selecting this specific compound, getting through the players to make it happen as well, and even taking that bold move to move over the top side of the coast, maybe just out of cover whilst they hear the third party going on, to hit this compound in this specific spot, knowing the circle is going to have to come back up towards them. Very, very well done. Very smart. No one can say this is circle look for Vampire Esports at all. Falcons, though, they have got to head through some really rough terrain, and so many teams will be sweeping these areas for players.
52 Esports cracking on with RSG. Seeing the pickup mechanic in action. GZ brings DD. The 2-letter synergy working out at the moment. But, ooh, Daku, if he gets the angle, he's a free broadside. Gets another knock, looks for it. No! Snakes away behind the cover, but Vaz is in with the rest of 52. Sorry, the only remaining player of 52. Looking for the challenge, but can't get it done. RSG staying alive under pressure. This is beautiful to try and strike out. They stay in it, Blank. This chase for 5th is still going.
RSG, it's not the best position in the world, but they're only got Umber and Forest away aside them. So, you know, this really could be a chance for them. Forest currently fighting the world on his lonesome versus the entirety of USG. Falcons, though, TJB versus them. Never alone, hits the deck, takes a fair amount of bullets.
Yusuf, look at a strikeout. No way that you get that teammate back up. Powerful, hot on the heels. The smoke cover is there. TJB looking to cut down this crossing, but their attention is turned as well away to Enigma Galaxy. Yusuf on the floor, spotted. Powerful, could be taken here, and it could be all over for Falcons on their race out in the blue, and they're gone.
And that is it. The Falcons with one hell of a run here in the PMWI. It will end here, but still a fantastic position. And I think it was one of the players from Vampire Esports.
Who got that final knock, who got that final point. The blue zone claimed the final victim. And Vampire Esports looking set to take this one home, looking to try and stay at that top point. I don't see a way that they can be dethroned here, Blank.
It's going to be so, so difficult. Vampire Esports currently just sending bullets around the map. This shift, though, over towards Team Soul could be their last hurrah here. Trying to make it happen, but it's Stone looking over towards Aton Esports. Trying to hit some of those shots, but they will have to move. It's a hard shift over towards that western side right now. Vampire Esports looking to break that 200-point barrier.
The circle moving out westward, right on top of Team Soul. So now the main challenge on the cards is that race for 5th place. Who can hold on to it? RSG eliminated 6 eliminations and points total, rather, on this game. So can the Wildcats jump on up? Enigma Galaxy, they're only on 2 eliminations with 1 player left as well. Fluketh takes a knock there to the 4 rivals. Well, they've done the work already. Nades towards the back, though, going to do plenty more. 4 rivals, left down to 1. The push comes through. They'll spot it out in the open. Spray's looking good, and they'll take it down. The drive-by for Vampire Esports.
Voki taken out of the mat. Fluketh, though, if we know Vampire Esports, you know, he might just crawl on over. Smokes are placed down. TJB off in the distance here. Perhaps looking for a little bit more. Tink Skirt takes a heavy bit of damage. GK first, just slinking in from the background. Trying to cross his way in. If Vampire Esports can end the day with a chicken dinner, it's a second, a first, a fourth, and then potentially even another chicken dinner on the day. It will be the most incredible bump up of points to finish this tournament for PUBG Mobile at the PMWI. Aton goes down, and Vampire's taking everyone on. Unfortunately, Ravenclaw hits the floor.
Sorted out himself. It's Ravenclaw to take the knee, but back into the smoke. Vampire still with 11 eliminations. They started on Erangel with a strong chicken dinner. It would be such providence to take this one home as well, but they still have to fight through the rest of this lobby. Make that another elimination point to rack on up. Team Soul, though, still with a central position. Nades back in. Zenetexa is going to go down, and the forces holding them out are going to wane, but it's only Schweppes now left standing for the top squad.
Goes for Rez onto Ravenclaw. Stoned is bleeding out fast. Aton Esports now have different things to worry about. It's back-to-back who just nail them down. Torn apart by bullets. Sent so quickly. It looks like Vampire Esports will get all 3 players back up again. And back-to-back, they're stuck in the blue.
They are pinned. That Molotov position really, really solid to stop their push over towards the Vampire Esports position. Now they can start to win their way in, but Seoul have 4 players alive. The team from India, who have not had the best of times, would love to close it out here strong.
But it's Vampire Esports. You just cannot take your eyes off at this current moment. Back-to-back, they fought against them on Miramar. Here we are again. Vampire Esports looking to toss some nades over the top. Enigma Galaxy still have Freak in the game. This nade could prove absolutely disastrous. Doesn't hit anyone, luckily. But they might have seen the arc, and Stoned just slowly strafes over. Luckily, he'll live to see another day there.
A little bit of damage
my
from Ravenclaw,
God.
but Freak takes a tumble as well. Enigma Galaxy eliminated. Stoned is found as back-to-back ride on in, trying to get that flush, and they will. Polo sends out. Schwepp wants to find the shots, but takes a lot of damage. Vampire Esports might have their run cut down here, but they have done enough. Only Ravenclaw left, hits the deck for a drop shot, and that is the end of their story. But it is now back-to-back, and Seoul going head-to-head. The team from India, 4 players alive with a heavy elimination game. Find the final, but we are going to go over to the stage for the trophy ceremony.